Alright, so for those of you that didn't get the message before, I guess I could give the full context while we're loading in. My sleep is fucked up. I did the right thing of being, like, agreeing to take somebody to a hospital because they're on medication and can't drive and they need to get to their appointment and all that, which was fine. I don't blame them or anything. But I was going to, like, rotate my sleep schedule because it keeps drifting later and later, and I was starting to hit a point where I was going to sleep at like 3 or 4 in the morning, and it's like, Jesus Christ. So I was like happy to take the chance to try to fix that ineffectively. So I had this plan of going to sleep 1 hour earlier every day, so I'd wake up 1 hour earlier. But then I was getting this shitty thing where it's like, if I need to go to sleep at a particular time to wake up at a certain time, I get like kind of stressed out about that, and sometimes can't sleep at all. And I just don't sleep when I mean to, and then I just sit there lying awake. So yesterday, I was like non-functional. I took them to the appointment and then got back, and I was like, I'm miserable. I can't record. This is a mess. So I went back to sleep for 2 more hours, which left me in this like foggy, shitty state that didn't feel great. But I had my coffee and breakfast and like kind of recovered into like, you know what, I can do this. So I finished Zelda, and I think I recorded 3 episodes of Zelda, 3 episodes of Shovel Knight, and a Let's Try yesterday. So I got some work done. But then I was a little worried because when I finished my nap that was supposed to try to fix how behind on sleep I was, it was relatively late. Like, it was like the middle of the day and shit. And I'm like, oh no, this is a mess. This might come back to bite me in the ass. And lo and behold, it did. I sat there and read like 100 pages of Orange is the New Black, just laying there in bed, just being like, surely I'll get tired soon. Like, early on in the process, I took 1 sleeping pill, and then later on I took a second one. Don't worry, that's the normal dosage. It's 2 pills per blister pack. Like, that's the normal dosage. It's just that I usually get away with taking 1, and it's enough to like tip me over the edge of like whatever struggle I'm having with sleeping. But nope, just kept sitting there for hours. I went in and out of stints of like, I would just lay there for hours, hanging out, and not sleeping. And then I'd go back to reading, then I'd go back to laying there, then I'd go back to reading. Because I'm like, it's like maybe reading's too active, although the act of reading is usually kind of tiring and gets me to sleep better. In the past, reading when is helpful when I can't get to sleep, but it wasn't helping here. Orange is the New Black is an enjoyable read, by the way. But I just just having a bad time, basically. And that's where I've been. So I finally wake up and I'm like, I don't know. I'll have breakfast, I'll have coffee. Maybe I'm just still groggy because I took sleep meds last night. But nope, it's been a few hours now, and I'm like, nope, today's not gonna, I'm not recovering today. I'm not recovering today. This is not getting back to normal, so I'm not gonna play Outer Worlds. I don't want to, this would be like the formative hours. I'm about to get to the second world, so I'd have to like learn a whole new setting and the people there and the socio-political situation. It's like, I'm not gonna process that. It sucks because you're just like, if you have trouble sleeping, you're just like, wow, this is just outside of my control. Like, whatever the fuck's going wrong here just doesn't have any sort of easy solutions. And I'm just kind of, it's just like RNG decides to just destroy your day. You're like, nope, you're just not going to be productive. And as I said in the video announcing this today, it's like, I'm used to not always having the best sleep, like in my college days and stuff, but like, there's just a difference, I feel like. There's like a certain level of optionalness to my job where I could just take a day off if I need to, especially since I don't have weekends, generally speaking, because I work every day. But also because like I'm creating stuff people are supposed to want to watch. And what's the point of doing that if I make stuff people don't want to watch because I'm blown out? And of course, like, the act of being this tired for, like, Outer Worlds could, like, have knock-on effects that damage the entire playthrough, so it's like, it's just counterproductive to even try. So I'm just gonna hang out. I've already had my coffee, so I'm definitely not getting back to sleep for like a good 5 hours, but I've already tried going back to sleep for hours, so it wasn't going great before the coffee. So it's more like the coffee was like an alternate cure of like, I don't know, maybe I'll snap out of it with some coffee, but instead coffee just made it so I definitely won't be sleeping, but also still am a tired piece of shit. So welcome to my current Death Stranding world. I'm trying to be completionist and max out every friendship with every group, and it's hard because some of them won't ever progress. Last night I just found this guy, the veteran porter, who hangs out at the Timefall farm, and he won't progress. But also I can't find any more packages to deliver him anyway. Usually when you find a new guy, all the other places suddenly have packages for that person. That hasn't really been happening. So that's kind of been a wash. But I've heard that sometimes you have to read emails to progress the story, but I've already read his email, so it's not that. But sometimes you have to do deliveries that are like they're like secretly like story progression deliveries, even though they look like exactly the same as all the other deliveries, so I don't know how you tell, but whatever. So maybe I'll just take all of his deliveries and deliver all of them. Oh. All of his deliveries are over there in the mountains. Okay. Can I fit all these on my back, please? Please? Oh no. Okay. This is not happening. It's too many at once. It's too many at once. We're gonna be a mess. So I'll take a small one and a big one. I'll do weather station. Oops. Cancel evil devo. And cancel paleontologist. Yeah, I'll take... Oh, that is a big one and a small one. Shit. These are both the small ones. Alright, cancel geologist. And take paleontologist. Can I do it now? There we go. Did I put Q&A in the title? I did put Q&A in the title. Yeah, if people want to ask questions, I could discuss those things and whatnot. I'm not going to be at my peak or anything, but given, you know, this is Death Stranding, so I'm not exactly overflowing with stuff to say about it right now. We've done it already. All right, so I didn't bring my car, so I can't carry everything. But even if I did, my weather station over here is a zipline network, so I can't use a vehicle to deliver from this guy to the mountains anyway. What? There's a veteran porter item just right here. What the fuck's happening here? Expect lots of silences. This is not me in I'm not going to be able to be in Let's Play mode today. It's actually funny because I had that response to somebody's post today about like just play like nobody's watching, and like the absurdity of that kind of request people have. But today's going to be the closest to that I've generally been. If you've ever had that kind of request, or that kind of thought, but you find today's stream really boring, then you might find that you've got your answer as to why people don't do that. But no, it's inherently farcical to expect people to play like nobody's watching when they're doing commentary and recording themselves and presenting themselves for an audience. Like, it's inherently inescapable the fact that you're not, that people are watching. Because people behaving like nobody's watching are really boring. I think of Andrew's weird experiment he did a while back where he set up cameras around his house and was live streaming his house to the internet on Twitch. And he set up like a program so that it would automatically switch the cameras to wherever he currently was. Like motion detectors, I guess. And like, yeah, you might imagine that wasn't the most successful experiment. How did I end up screwing up my sleep? Is DVR turned on the stream right now? You should just start the stream over. I just finished giving the long explanation of that for like the last few minutes, so it seems kind of productive to start over. Yep, DVR is turned on. You can just rewind the stream if you want to know. That's the first thing I covered. I think I'll avoid the trap of retreading the same topic over and over again. Same thing goes for the Iceborne streams, come to think of it. People keep asking, like, are you gonna go back to PS4 on Iceborne and so on, and I keep readdressing the question. So for future streams of Iceborne, I'm gonna stop answering those people and just start ignoring them. Not because they're necessarily doing anything wrong, but because the question's been addressed so many times that I don't want to have the Monster Hunter World multiplayer sessions be me just addressing that topic over and over again for the entire series. So I think last night's stream will be the last instance of me doing that. So when those videos come out, and then I'll just be like, I don't know, watch the videos where I explain this. Get caught up. I'm hanging out in the Twitch cream is what we call it, like YouTuber chat room. So we might randomly have a guest today, but it is the middle of the day on a weekday. Today is Friday, right? If I remember correctly. Yeah. Today's Friday. Like people are at work, or it's the middle of the day. But I put out an open invitation if anyone wants, if any of the people in my audience, and my not my audience, my friend group want to help me get through this troubling time. Like I think Andrew's at work, for example. Have I been enjoying Link's Awakening? Yeah, it's a fun game. All of the annoyances aren't really important. Like when something comes up, I'll talk about it, and I might even be annoyed by the thing, or be like, what the fuck, how are you supposed to know that? But like, none of these are deal breakers. It's not really they're not really a big deal. It's just, you know, it's the topic at hand, so I'll discuss it. Which sometimes people mistake as me being like, I just want to hate the game. And it's like, no, I'm having a good time. If anything, the most negative part of the experience is just all the comments that are going on about how like I'm playing it wrong, or like getting into like dissecting my brain and all of its flaws and so on. It's like, oh, this is just the way he's like, is this or that about like you're overthinking it and underthinking it simultaneously. You're over exploring and under exploring, and blah 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 blah. Yep. Let's get myself on the zipline network, and then I can scroll through things I'm looking forward to. Am I anticipating anything coming out this year? I'm bad at paying attention to that. There's so many games that are already out that I don't particularly heavily pay attention to what's coming out in the future. Although inevitably I am aware of Psychonauts. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, I guess that. I just said that on accident, but I guess Psychonauts 2 might come out this year or something. I haven't been paying attention. But sure, Psychonauts 2. But I actually meant to say Cyberpunk, and I said Psychonauts instead. I guess it's the same. Yeah, it's the same opening syllable, same number of syllables. So I just kind of slipped into a different word. But I'm curious to see how Cyberpunk turns out. Witcher 3 was one of the longest playthroughs on the entire channel. And also kind of a formative one of like this big through line of when I was like starting things out and so on. And I had a good time with it. And I'm obviously a fan because I've gone on to read 2 of their books and watch the show and play the spin-off game Thronebreaker. So admittedly, that's a lot of that is The Witcher itself and not necessarily all CD Projekt Red. But I think CD Projekt Red had to do a lot of good work themselves too. That's worth noting. My back is covered in shit.
Here's to you, Sam.
But I like to see what they do. And I also am, I find it appealing that they're going to do a different kind of game. They've made 3 third-person, open-world, Western RPG style RPGs, and now they're going to make a first-person game, which fundamentally does change certain elements of the series. Load onto vehicle, offload carry. What? Oh, that's already in storage. Whoops. I want to put this also in storage. But by being first person and so on, like, that's all interesting. Because it fundamentally changes the genre classification a bit, and it's more likely to be something a bit more similar to like Deus Ex. Like, just by being cyberpunk and first person and so on, there's a decent chance that you're going to be like using your hacking skills to open certain doors, and it's going to be more about navigation in a way that Witcher wasn't, I would imagine. Because Witcher was fundamentally all about just kind of going around this big open area and chasing down your objectives, and then doing dialogue, and then maybe fighting. Whereas these first-person tech games that take place in cities, the basic setting kind of requests a different genre as a result. What do I think about Breath of the Wild 2 being a thing? I'll play it. I don't really know what larger opinion there is to be had. Breath of the Wild was my first proper Zelda game in a bunch of ways. Do I have cargo for you? Can't remember. I think I do. They put a lot of time and work into making that giant map, and Zelda games are normally so spaced out by so long that I can see why they'd want to sort of iterate more quickly on another game. And I think that's fine. I think to some extent the kind of toxicity around Zelda, where people are just cataclysmically mad every time everyone comes out. They ruined the art style with what's it called? Wind Waker. How could they make him a cartoon boy? Or how could whatever I don't know. I don't remember if people had negative thoughts going into Twilight Princess, but then like Skyward Sword, worst Zelda ever, and it's like it's rough that if you don't like a particular Zelda game, then the gap between the previous Zelda game you liked and the next one coming out is like sometimes it's like 10 years. Like, that's a long time. So making games more frequently, even if they're iterative, might kind of be helpful to some extent. And it doesn't hurt their sales, I'm sure. Like, Once Upon a Time, Majora's Mask came out a year after Ocarina of Time. They used to be faster. Now it feels like one comes out every 6 years, and it's a huge wait. And I think part of that's because the pressure's on. But making a sequel might give them the chance to be less restrained by having to launch on the Wii U and the Switch. Although I don't know if the Switch is really that much more powerful. So I don't know if it leaves that much of a difference. Here's hoping Breath of the Wild has dungeons, though. I think if they can get that one change, that would fundamentally replace a lot of the complaints people have. I'm taking you to the paleontologist. Alright. I'm just taking the veteran porter's deliveries to wherever he wants and just going with that. Even though I've already maxed out all of the people he wants me to deliver to, just because I can't figure out how to make him progress. So I'm just seeing if this unlocks anything, because there's been like a hint at that idea. I think a lot of people will be happy if they stick with some of the elements of the Breath of the Wild formula, but still, but just manage to have, like, proper dungeons, like the kind that are a series of interlocked rooms that take, like, 90 to 120 minutes to complete or something. You know, a dungeon. Although really, I don't think that either of them has to be like the future of Zelda. I think they can just make both. I think the Breath of the Wild is a new third category of Zelda. You got your 2D Zeldas, you got your 3D Zeldas, then you got your open world Zeldas, I guess. Because there is a fundamental difference. There's just a way to how you navigate the world around you in the other Zelda games. Like, so much of it is locked off, and you gain new abilities and tricks and proceed with different plot lines with particular characters, and that lets you access different parts of the world and so on. That's not always completely true, but, you know, an Ocarina of Time or Twilight Princess Zelda, whereas Wind Waker was actually, like, immediately wide open. Although I think Wind Waker was a shitty compromise. I think it was a bad idea that Wind Waker was as open as Breath of the Wild, in that it was a giant open sea, but you were still completely limited in what you could do. And to some extent, I think Wind Waker is the weakest 3D Zelda game. And that's before you even get to the fact that the entire late game is just recycled content, because they just ran out of stuff to do, and like multiple entire dungeons were scrapped and never put into the game, but they still wanted to do the whole Triforce hunt, but they didn't have new content for you to play for that whole part, so they just recycled old content for hours and hours until they just let you finally proceed with the story. But I think its world design was also kind of garbage. It's just a giant, flat, boring ocean with nothing in it. And there's a very mechanical, by nature, grid across the map, and every grid has one island on it. And it's like, it's such a boring world to have just like, here's the one island on this square of the grid, and here's the one island on that square of the grid, and that's just the entire world map, and most of it's not worth visiting because you can't go there yet. You have to come back when you have your shit. So it's like you get punished for even trying to explore anyway, because all those individual map grids that are basically distributed at random can't be explored yet because you can't do anything there because you don't have the one item from later in the game that'll make it possible to do that part of the game. Like that's all just... I just find that all frustrating. Like I feel like ooh, I found a veteran porter performance package. That's the whole point. Yay. That's the whole point. There we go. But I felt like Breath of the Wild encouraged you to explore and rewarded you for exploring, and Wind Waker discouraged exploration and punished you for exploring despite having a world that was similarly laid out as if you were supposed to explore it. And that was because in Breath of the Wild you had the tools with which to interact with the world around you, and in Wind Waker you did not. So you just find a bunch of dead ends everywhere and you're like, why did I try? Because it's like, as the comments were eventually happy to point out repeatedly, basically the correct way to play Wind Waker is to basically beat the game and then be like, I guess I'll wander around the world now that I've basically beaten the game. It's like, that's not how an open world's supposed to work. All of the stuff around you is supposed to be accessible and worth something to explore. And maybe you get special tools later that help or whatever, but it's not supposed to be off limits. Like in Death Stranding, I can just go wherever. And there's a through line of the plot, but like I can also just go. Because if you can't just go, then why is there an open world? It's just kind of pointless. I might be able to take a shortcut. There's a car, there's somebody left a vehicle here. Instead of taking my network all the way back. Hello, long range car. Let's try not to crash, cause I'll die horribly. I just want the platinum trophy, goddammit. As far as my microphone being quiet, it's because it's not going through the normal audio processing. I normalize and then compress all of my voice recordings, so they'll never be as loud and evenly balanced in a stream as they are during a video. The main thing I can do is just make sure the game's hopefully quiet enough that I'm audible over it. So let me know if you can't hear me over the game. But if you just have to turn me up in general, that's just kind of part of the fact that it's a live stream and there's no audio processing going on. And also I'm tired. But I can turn the game down. I also probably turn myself up a little bit. I have to be careful though, because I also have to remember later on. I have to hopefully remember later on to turn myself back down when I'm in performance mode again and my voice is booming and shit. Otherwise I'll be clipping and all the audio will be fucked up. No, I'm on the wrong side. Oh, there's a ghost warning, so maybe it was good to go this way, but I'm on the wrong side of this mountain. This is not going to help my time at reaching this veteran porter. Shit. As long as I don't crash, though. I don't like this guy, by the way. I do not like the veteran porter. He's just so in the middle of nowhere, and there's no interesting people to deliver to, because I've finished everybody, but also even if I hadn't finished everybody, his only neighbor is the timefall porter. Or timefall farmers. Like, he's so awkwardly placed. And he keeps just not making progress when I do stuff for him, and it's like, I just want to wrap this up, dude. The specific thing about isolated destination people is that they usually max out really quickly. Like I only had to take one more package after I beat the game originally. I only had to take one package to the Timefall farmers to max them out. And then I only had to take one package to the chiral artist to max them out, basically. Like, the really isolated, low importance, preppers are usually pretty easy to finish. Perhaps the exception being all the people in the mountains, but I made a zipline network between all of them so I could just deliver to them all day, every day. But I can't make a zipline network to this guy because he's not on the fucking network. That arbitrary, weird feature. He keeps not adding himself to the network. Oh, I went past him. Whoops. So I can't add zip lines to go to his base. And he's up in the mountains, all awkward. It's not a great time. Oops. Oh boy. I'm actually getting really far in this game. I don't mind the Metroidvania mechanic of encountering something you can't do yet and then coming back later. It's just that there has to be clever level design based around that mechanic. It has to stick out in your brain. Like a better example would be when I'm in the mountains in Link's Awakening, there's that one heart piece I keep seeing through the wall and it's just continually bugging me. I'm like, there's a heart piece in the mountains, there's a heart piece in the mountains, there's a heart piece in the mountains. I don't know how to get it. Which keeps the mountains in my brain as being a location that I want to revisit at various points in the game when I get new abilities until I can figure out how to get that heart piece. Like, there must be something else I can do. There must be something I can do in the goddamn mountains. Did he not make any progress again? Motherfucker, you still don't even have 1 star. This guy's garbage, I hate him. This motherfucker. Timefall farm delivery. Medical supplies lost during delivery. That's probably worth doing. There we go. But in a good game, you'll be like, oh, yeah, that memorable location, that's there. And like the world will have a coherent shape to it, so it's meaningful. Like in Link's Awakening, when I think about the world, I have a kind of decent picture. The bottom left corner is the beach, just above that is the town, and just above that is the Lost Woods. Just above that's kind of a miscellaneous zone, but then the entire top of the map is mountains. The bottom right corner is the desert. Just to the left of that desert, there's the animal farm. I mean, the animal town. To the left of that is the big lake area. North of the animal farm is the area full of statues. North of the area full of statues is the river rafting area. Like, that's a pretty complete map of the gist of Link's Awakening's map. And I just said that on top of my head, and I've only played the game once. Fucking Wind Waker, it's just a fucking ocean of random islands. It's just a bunch of stupid islands on a blue grid, and they're not placed meaningfully, and I have to check the map every single time to think of where anything might be. There's like a vague idea of like, I think the Deku Tree town place was in like the bottom left corner somewhere, maybe. Like, that's just like a vague idea that comes to mind. Like, I can't really tell you what Wind Waker's map was shaped like. Like, the whole point of Metroidvania mechanics is to help you internalize what a map is like. And the map has to be memorably designed, and then the Metroidvania mechanics complement the map design by cementing certain things in your mind. You get mysteries. You're like, here's this thing. How the fuck do I do that? what's going on there? And that's gonna like nag at you in the back of your head for hours while you're doing other things. Then you get the thing and suddenly you're gonna be like, oh, this ability would totally let me do that thing. It makes sense now. And then you're like gonna be going back to that spot. The downside is that you have to play a Metroidvania pretty much front to back in a short period of time. You can't take a break for like a month and come back because you're not gonna, it's all gonna be gone. But if you can play the game every day or every other day for like a few weeks and then beat the game or whatever, then like you get the proper experience, and it complements that. But having Metroidvania mechanics in a game that doesn't have Metroidvania level design, it's just the worst of both worlds instead of the best. Did I get all of them? I think I have everything. Yeah. I was looking at my back and I only saw 3 things on me. I'm like, where's the... Wasn't there 4? I guess that small one is the... It looks like it might be 2 big things, 2 small things. Love me, veteran porter. Give me the stars. I need more stars on my leg. I've got the mule virus, and now I'm just obsessing over packages all day. Like some sort of lunatic. So I can get little stupid stars on my leg that tell me I've been a good boy. Yeah. Oh god, this is gonna be a mess. Keep going. But generally speaking, a Metroidvania is supposed to be a small environment. That's like the point, is the compactness. Metroidvanias are all about efficient level design. If you take Metroidvania mechanics and you plaster them over a giant, sprawling environment, the players aren't going to be able to process it the way they're supposed to be able to process that whole genre. I think that's the reason why the abilities you unlock over time in Breath of the Wild don't give you the ability to suddenly do things you could never do before. Instead, they're tools that kind of make navigation easier, or maybe give you alternate approaches to things that you could have done anyway, like jumping up in the sky and flying for a bit with Rivali's Gale. Like, your reward is a new ability that feels good to have. But the, you're not like getting the red key that lets you open all the red doors, because then you're going to be like, well, where the fuck were the red doors? This map's massive. And while there was a memorable layout to Breath of the Wild's map overall, the fine details are things you're going to lose. My plate's pretty full, so I think Journey to the Savage Planet is a game I'll probably play with Bird. Yeah, wow, he literally doesn't make progress from doing deliveries. This guy just breaks the rules of how the rest of the game works. That's weird. I'll do this delivery because it's right here, and then I'll just leave and go rest, since that's apparently going to reset it. That's supposed to help, I guess. Yeah, Journey to the Savage Planet touts co-op as being a core mechanic or something. Like, you watch gameplay trailers and it shows 2 people running around. I guess I'll probably play it in co-op. But we're currently doing Darksiders Genesis. And we spent 2 hours solving episode 5 a couple nights ago. And then I looked at a walkthrough because I was curious, and it's like, oh, there's like 15 chapters in this game. Huh. I kind of thought we were like more than halfway done, maybe, because we've been playing for a bit. But it's a lengthy one. So it might be a while before I get to Journey to the Savage Planet. But I think that's what Bird and I will probably play next. But it might be a while. We just meet up once a week right now. And we only did one mission. We only beat one chapter this week. So at that rate, it could be 10 more weeks of Darksiders Genesis. But I think we've beaten multiple chapters per session sometimes, so we'll see. There's too many video games. There's just too many video games. My life gets sucked out by the video game industry. It's a dramatic way to put it, but I mean, like, I put so much time into playing video games every day, and the list still grows faster than it shrinks, and that's only counting the games I'm interested in. Because most of the entire AAA game market is the thing I just filter out by default and don't even count in my list making, and there's still too many games. There's just so many games. I made a poll about what games people want me to play, and the whole effort felt like such a farce. Because immediately afterwards I thought of several games that weren't in that poll that I needed to add to my list. Both for like, oh, this would be good to play with Stephanie, and also just like other stuff of like, yeah, of course this should be on the list. And there's like stuff that I didn't know existed, or stuff that I just kind of slipped in my mind, like Off was like one of the first games that I thought I should play with Stephanie. But it wasn't on the list of games to play with Stephanie, because it was on my mental list before there ever was a physical list, and then when I started making a physical list, it just didn't occur to me to add it to it. Like, I just forgot about it. But then I remembered to add that, like, right after I put the poll up. I'm like, fuck, great, I made a poll about what games I should play with Stephanie that didn't include Off. Like, the prototypical thing I should play with Stephanie. Because it was such a specific timeline. Off was on the Patreon nominations for so many months, might have been years, and then they give up and had me do a let's try of it, and then yeah, just take me to the distribution center. Then they gave up and had me do a let's try of it, and then that happened, I think, while I was already, I think I was living with Stephanie at that point, if I remember correctly. But people in the comments were pointing out how Off is like inspired by Paranoia Agent. And then independently I find out that Paranoia Agent is Stephanie's favorite anime ever. It's like, what a weird fucking coincidence. Just what a weird coincidence. It's like, hey, the game that's been on my to-do list for all these years, it's based on your favorite anime. Person I now record with. What a weird through line. But I realized that Off wasn't on the list, on the vote. I'm like, ah, fuck. Everything's fucked. And I've already added multiple things to my physical list. So I have like a piece of paper I keep just writing games on so I don't forget them right now. And I already had the spreadsheet online that everyone has access to. Like, that's always been available. But that was like unmanageable. So while the holiday season was coming out and games were coming out every day, I had like a triage list that I have on my desk where I was just jotting down all the different games that are coming out that I want to play. And it kept growing a lot faster than it shrank. And that's kind of the list I've been looking at exclusively lately, and not the online one. But at some point I'll have to like collapse it and like Control F my spreadsheet so I can add all the ones to the spreadsheet that are only on the paper list, and then throw away the paper list because its usefulness will have passed, because it was already a temporary list for the holidays that's already passed, but it's just what I've been using lately. That's the same reason why there's yellow and green things on the spreadsheet, is because it's just me trying to create short lists within the list, because the list is so unmanageable that I try to make shorter lists within the list that highlight specific segments of the list to focus more on, but then those short lists get long because it's a farce. It's just impossible to keep up with all this shit. Oh god. I'm on the wrong altitude, aren't I? Yes, I am. I need to go back. There we go. How is Stephanie? Stephanie's fine. She's not, like, gone because she's sick or anything, or, like, in a bad state. She's just not in videos right now because... I was getting a lot of pushback about the amount of Stephanie videos. And people, like, kind of guilting me, being like, some of us remember when it used to be a solo commentary channel. Which is kind of not true, because I started as a dual commentary channel with Andrew in 2011, and I've been doing this for 9 years. And I've been continually making videos with other people at basically every time throughout my entire history. And just the saturation of solo versus co-op playthroughs or whatever has just kind of oscillated back and forth from month to month the entire time. But it's when we hit peak Stephanie saturation, where she was doing the Pokemon series and the Death Stranding series, and first it was Goose Game that took up the indie slot, and then a while later it was Unheard. There was 3 Stephanie things at once, and people were like acting betrayed about it, and I was getting bitter about that, so I kind of just pivoted towards solo stuff for a bit, just to shut people up. But we've already recorded an entire new Let's Play that's just waiting for me to finish my other... It's just waiting for the finale to come up for another game so I can then air that. So we did solo Link's Awakening and solo Shovel Knight. And Shovel Knight's in the indie / puzzle slot, so when the finale of that airs, then I can start airing the playthrough I've already recorded with Stephanie of her story. I finally got that done, because from day one, I've always wanted her story to be a thing I did with one other person. Back in the day, I envisioned that I would either do it with Bird or Andrew. I had plans for doing it with another person before Stephanie was even in the picture. But people will be like, there's been actual comments there along the lines of like, well, dude, clearly your methodology has changed, because like back in the day you wouldn't have done this with another person, but but you do now. And it's like I think there was a response on Unheard saying that like, clearly something has changed because you didn't do Oberdin with the second person, and that's a mystery game, and so on. I don't know. Oberdin probably would have benefited from a second person, honestly, if I had someone like Stephanie on board, but in that situation it was more akin to the fact that I was living in isolation. I was recording solo, and that was a local game, and oh god, I'm gonna lose this thing. And Stephanie wasn't in the picture, and none of the people that I lived with at that time were particularly apt for that kind of thing. So it was more that it wasn't an option at the time, not that it was my creative choice to play Oberdin solo. Because yeah, having another person to point out like the details that they're picking up on in the mystery game adds to the whole mystery solving thing, having a discussion back and forth. That's why every fucking detective dude's got a partner in all these narratives, because they can bounce ideas back and forth off of each other. That's like the point. It's also why I didn't want to play the 999 game solo and all that. But yeah, I do plan on doing the DLC for Unheard. People were kept asking about that. It's just at the time I was feeling bitter and didn't feel like recording more of that. I just wanted to get more of that stuff out of the way. And going forward, there'll probably be like one Stephanie playthrough at a time or something. I don't know. Or I could just ignore those people. The constant conflict all the time is trying to figure out which feedback to acknowledge and which feedback to completely ignore. But there's a certain element of like hurtfulness to people acting betrayed about stuff. You don't want to feel like you're betraying your audience, but at the same time you open yourself to being like emotionally manipulated if you were too receptive to that kind of stuff. So I don't know what the fuck. Whatever. There's no answers. But I definitely only want to record one Stephanie playthrough at a time. Not necessarily, they can still air simultaneously based on how the schedule plays out, but I don't want to repeat. I don't necessarily want to repeat the the Pokemon Death Stranding situation. That was just kind of a coincidence that came up. It's just it's a lot of scheduling because it's when you're averaging 2 videos per day, and somebody's got their own life and everything. It's just like a lot of careful shit you got to figure out. There's a lot of concerns of like, are we gonna fall behind schedule? Like, we had a good pace for a while, but then what happened is the holiday season came by, and then it became like, oh god, are we gonna fall behind because we haven't recorded either game for 2 weeks? We thankfully had a big backlog, and we were able to figure it out ultimately, but that could have gone bad. Will I do Zero Time Dilemma with Stephanie? If she wants to. The ideal situation would be to do it with Andrew, but at this point it's been a while. I don't think he's coming back to the idea of doing that. I think he is fully committed to not doing... I think Andrew's fully committed to not doing Zero Time Dilemma, which is unfortunate, because it does leave me in a kind of an awkward position where it's like, that was the one way to do it. So it's, no matter what, it'll be disappointing because there'll be a format change. But, you know, maybe that's true to the format of Zero Time Dilemma, because it's the disappointing third game that a lot of people didn't like, that changed a bunch of things or whatever, is the buzz I always hear about it. Part of me, out of spite, almost wants to be like, and it's my favorite one. It'd be really funny if it turned out to be the one I like the most or something. But in order to play the third game with Stephanie would have to find the time to experience the narrative of the first 2 games independently, and I brought that up before, and she's like, what? Basically. So I don't think that's happening. I doubt she's going to watch like our Let's Plays of the first 2 games, or in any other way experience those games. God damn, that's a lot of mail. Why don't you read it all? It's because there's a fucking mountain of it. But you have to open it all because it might let the next pieces of progress be possible. But yeah, I inherently have a problem where if I do want to replace Andrew with the second person, they have to experience the first 2 games in one way or another. And most of my options for people would be other Let's Players, which would mean that they'd have to, like, probably Let's Play the first 2 games, because why would they want to upload just the third game to their channel? But then that would give them a problem where they do the first 2 games solo, and then randomly do the third game with me, which would be like a format change for them, so I'm like inflicting that on them, which is its own different kind of mess. That's not exactly great either. There's not really any answers to that situation. All I know is I don't think I'd want to do it solo. Having nobody to talk to sounds like a not great way to do that kind of game. Just generally speaking. So I'd prefer not to. AI Somnium Files is on the Stephanie list of potential Stephanie playthroughs. That's for those that are just hearing me and not seeing chat. That's the new game that the creator of Zero Escape made. Alright, I slept. Maybe that'll allow me to progress the stupid storyline of this asshole in the corner. I won't die. This asshole. I just want this asshole to have 5 stars so I can go back to the rest of the map. Oh god. That turning is not great. That wasn't good. I don't like the art style of Danganronpa. Like, I actively dislike it. I can't get over that. I don't know what it is, but I don't like looking at it. I also don't like that it has an irritating mascot character. I don't like that trope, and oh, there goes that. Nope. Alright. It's cool. I didn't need that. I'm not used to how limiting trikes are. I'm used to having a truck. I've only been using a trike here because the terrain's so shitty. And I'm hitting how bad that is because it just sinks. You just lose it into the water and it's gone. You're like, oh, that happens? Fuck. That doesn't happen before in this game. That's a problem. That's bad. Shit. Is there a HQ somewhere nearby? Somebody make a base. What's the icon look like again? I don't remember. I actually don't remember what the icon looks like. Ooh, an online truck's right over there. That's not nearby. That's not nearby at all, but I'll take it. We're gonna run. Hope there's no BTs. Like, I don't like the look of Danganronpa, and I don't want to 100% understand how it works, but I don't Sam, your hood was down. You just aged 30 years. What the fuck? I'm also confused by the weird action segments or whatever it is where you're like shooting stuff with your like mind gun or whatever. I haven't looked at that closely because I don't like to actively spoil things for myself, obviously, but that's the kind of the paradox. But whenever I see gameplay of that, a hint of it, I'm like, I don't think I want like timed QuickTime events in my detective game or whatever that is. But Danganronpa's also additionally fucked up by the fact that I watched season 1 of the anime, or I watched the anime based on the first game with Andrew, which even if they change things, which I've heard they have, it still spoils a lot of the stuff. Like, I know who killed certain people and what certain plot points are. So, like, that's just, it's kind of pointless to do it at that point. Shibuya Scramble's probably dead. I don't know. I like the game. It's not the game's fault. It was an experiment, and I think it kind of failed. I was trying to bring back the whole Andrew and me doing a visual novel together thing. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. We have to be in the room together. Like, doing the Shibuya Scramble thing just felt awkward and tedious. There's like a noticeable like latency and awkwardness to every like line delivery, and we keep having to remind ourselves to like do like you're doing that voice and I'm doing that voice, and we have to like meet up at a scheduled time and figure things out, and I have to awkwardly like screen share it to him, and there's too many levels of artifice and mess that were between us and the game that were preventing us from recapturing the feeling of like when we were doing Zero Escape. It's just that's a format that's dead. Me and Andrew doing local recordings for the time being. We just live too far away from each other now. In particular, I started that when we lived even further away because he lived in Dubai, and I was still living in the United States. Those are pretty far away countries. So in the early days, there was a lot of internet connection problems that were making it harder for us to do it. And then he just straight up didn't have internet for like weeks or months at one point because he was living in a hostel. And so that added a bunch of time where like us returning to the series was taking too long, so we're forgetting everything. But even now that he's in the United States, and now he has his own apartment and everything, it's just too awkward to try to like do this co-commentary over like a video I'm streaming to him of a game and so on. Like, it's just awkward. So like if I ever do Shibuya Scramble, I might have to just start over with a different person locally, like Stephanie or something. But even then it's awkward because like I already know a bunch of shit that I'm not supposed to know, so like my blind playthrough's kind of ruined. I've got mixed feelings about that kind of stuff. It's really awkward to try to go back to a playthrough you already started and failed to do correctly, which is rare on my channel, but the handful of examples are rough. Because there's all these examples of like where it's like I can't get back the blind hours at the beginning, but I also can't just continue where I left off because I've both forgotten too much and remember too much, so both versions are fucked. There's no easy answers. I run into that in a more minor way when I do a let's try of a game and then I do a series on it later. There's the question of like, do I pick up where the let's try left off, even though it happened like months ago, and people might have not seen it, and I also maybe forgot certain details from it, or do I start the game over from scratch and pretend the let's try didn't happen and just kind of like awkwardly replay the same chunk of game again, which like that happened in Nier Automata. I played the demo, but the demo was just the beginning of the game, and then I played the beginning of the game again in the real series, which is weird. Why did I come here? I don't think I have a delivery for these people, do I? No. Why am I carrying so much shit right now? I don't remember what's on my back right now. Please tell me you have a package for this guy. Please? Please? Oh. Just want to help this guy. Thank you, Zero Fashing, for the donation. This is a unique stream context where I'm acknowledging donations, because that's not a part of a different Let's Play or whatever, where it's distracting for me to acknowledge things. This is genuinely a stream intended exclusively as a stream, and it'll be some kind of final VOD later or something. Although if y'all are thinking of doing donations, it is more effective to just hop on the Patreon. You get more benefits for the same money, and I get more of the money. Everyone wins. This stuff's just all breaking right now in my inventory. Do you ever rewatch your own content as a refresher? No, I don't like my content. I don't like listening to myself talk. A lot of people are like that, actually. But there's also the part where I don't find my content particularly entertaining. This is not stuff I would watch for fun. I don't watch one guy hanging out slowly playing through a game videos. I watch video essays. And the Let's Plays I do watch are like Game Grumps, where it's people hanging out and shooting the shit and telling jokes, and also there's a game, I guess. I don't play games to experience the games. I don't watch Let's Plays to experience the games. I watch Let's Plays for the people, and the games usually don't matter. So I fundamentally watch different content than I create. But also watching my own content would mean having to sit through me talking, and I don't like that. A lot of people are like that. I think of like how Kylo Ren, what's that guy's? Adam Driver. There was that thing recently where he was on NPR and people were playing his they wanted to play like his performance back at him. I think it was when he was singing or something, and he stormed out of the room. And people were like, "What the fuck, Adam Driver, you petulant child?" But it's like, no, there's like a whole thing where a lot of performers have like an anxiety around seeing their own performance played back at them and stuff like that. It's like you get all self-conscious and insecure about yourself in general. It's generally just not enjoyable for a lot of people to see their own stuff. One of the big exceptions actually is the I will sometimes rewatch old videos I've made with other people, because that's a different kind of content. It's more akin to the kind of stuff that I do like to watch. And it's also like me and another person making each other laugh, and it leads, and I watch that stuff and I actually laugh. I'll really get a kick out of some of that stuff. There's I have a lot of memories. I remember that stuff more. I remember interactions I have with other people in group Let's Plays more than I remember the moment-to-moment stuff that happens in my stuff. Like, people will time code comments and be like, LOL, this part, so funny. And I was like, I don't remember even making a joke in that video. And it's like, I've got like a speech pattern and like performance style that, like, I've learned to become more entertaining every day for the last 9 years, basically. So, like, I believe people when they say that I said something funny in a video, but in a lot of the solo stuff, I just don't remember I don't remember what I was doing over the course of the stuff until there's like a controversy or something, like the yellow man mug from Disco Elysium, where I'm gonna get so many comments about it forever. That's the stuff I remember because the audience keeps bringing it up. But like, as somebody who does like, but when I do group stuff, like, to this day, I'll still remember fucking that, all these Sonic 06 moments that I had with Andrew. Everybody in Selena, fuck you. I'm here for a reason. It's not to speak to any of you fuckers. It's all high-pitched at the end. I'm a magic fucking hedgehog, and I've got magic powers, and chaos emeralds, and black friends. Just the bizarre fucking rant he goes on where he loses his voice, and I edited at the end the part where he's completely raspy and dead voiced and shit. That's such a memorable thing, and that was like 7 years ago. It's like so fucking long ago, and it's burned into my brain. Okay, seriously, who's leaving packages right outside his house? And I'll be like, now I remember being like, who's his black friend? Who the fuck is Sonic's black? Do you mean Knuckles? Because I was thinking of like he's like, no, Shadow. I was like, oh, the guy who's literally black. Like, he's literally the color black. I get it. All right. Because I had Ego Raptor on the mind, and an Ego Raptor, he definitely, in Ego Raptor's Knuckles Chaotix video, he definitely codes Knuckles as being black in the dialogue. And so that's just what came to mind. What a weird fucking conversation. Oh, those magic moments. And then shit like my old McDonald had a grant. Minecraft. Hey, fucking progress. I swear to God. Why does this guy keep there's just a fucking thing in front of his house? What is this guy? What are you? What are you? I'm not gonna join the UCA because giving you the ability to put a fucking zip line down would really speed this up, but I'm not gonna make this easier. Oh, thank God. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Fuck, I just put away my PCC2s right before this happened. Can I fabricate here? But no, all my really memorable moments in Let's Playing are moments I've had with other people. They're not usually solo moments. I know sometimes people are like, oh, if you don't remember what you did last time, you should just re-watch your own playthrough so that you have a refresher and don't forget things from session to session. But like, one, I just actively don't enjoy that. But two, it's really time consuming to watch a Let's Play. That does not fit in my schedule.
Take care, Sam. I've got high hopes for you. Good work.
Old MacDonald had a loan. E-I-E-I-O. Or was it Grant? I don't remember. I made it a standalone clip because it was just a really enjoyable video. Fucking made Burr lose his shit. And then I talked to him about it later and he doesn't even remember it. So everyone's memories work differently because he does not remember that. Is that? Hang on a minute, that's Mad Max, isn't it? Are you Mad Max, sir? Can you just let me know if you're Mad Max? Anyway, I'm just gonna go over here now. Ba-doop. Alright. I'm gonna leave now. I already picked up 2 premium deliveries from this guy, so I'm just gonna go deliver those again. And then, I don't know, maybe I'll repeat the cycle of taking a nap and then coming back, and maybe the next one will show up again. Maybe this is just what they're gonna make me do. Oh, this driving's gonna be a disaster. But here we are. Still better than walking on all this terrain with that much stuff on my back. Especially since it's less likely to be damaged when I'm driving than if I absentmindedly fall over. Oopsie. No. Calm down. But no, my hangout session, Let's Players have hit their groove, because, Game Grumps went and switched to an hour-long format instead of 10-minute episodes. Finally, after like 7 years. And so I've been catching up on their Twilight Princess playthrough and being like, oh, this is nice. They just hang out for an hour at a time. And also fewer videos that are longer make it easier to keep track of what the fuck I've watched so far, rather than like dozens of 10-minute episodes to try to get back through. The thumbnails are the worst right now, though. I do not like this change they've made. I can't even identify them as being parts of the same series. They always claim they're making choices for, like, algorithm reasons or something. They have some kind of insight that they've been told. Maybe it's their network or whatever told them that that's the rule now or whatever, because they think that that's the secret to success nowadays, which a lot of it's like voodoo shit where you're just kind of performing random actions and hoping that they happen to confirm or deny like what you're hoping to get as progress or whatever. I think of like there was a thing that Vsauce did in the Mind Field series where they made a Skinner's box. They put people in a box and there was a button in the box. And it was just an empty room largely, and like the people knew they were being watched, and so there was a slit. This fucking thing, I cannot make this thing go in the direction I want it to go in. Cars on slopes are interesting in this game. There was a slit, and like a dollar bill would come out of the slit in the wall, and so people would try to figure out how to make the money come out. And so they would perform all these different actions. Somebody would dance, I think. Somebody would just sit completely still. Somebody would refuse to, oh my fucking god. Just go up. It's like there's an invisible wall. There we go. Just go straight. Rain fucked me up. Oh my god. You really feel the difference between rain and not rain. Okay, no, I get this. Oh, don't jump out, don't jump out, don't jump out, don't jump out. Okay, cool. I thought he was gonna go rolling out. Okay, I give up. Fuck that vehicle. I've had luck before, I think, when it wasn't raining, but it just started raining and it completely fucked me. But yeah, they put them in a room, and they didn't give them directions. They just said that, I don't even remember if they were told money would come out or not, but basically people will try to perform different actions, and they would hope to get more money, and they'd perform, and like when the money came out, they'd be like, is that what you want? And then they try to do more of that action. So like they'd start exercising or dancing or talking or whatever they think did it, or they'd open the door and stuff like that because the door wasn't locked, or they'd press the button, or they'd not press the button, or they'd hold the button or whatever. And the end result was that they were told that, oh yeah, by the way, the money thing, it was just putting out $1 every minute. None of their behaviors mattered. Nothing they did had anything to do with the money. The money was just going to happen no matter what, and their behaviors were completely unrelated. But it still managed to encourage behaviors in people, just like the whole Skinner box premise in the first place, where they'd put like a rat or a pigeon in a box, and they could press a button in order to get food. And if they found in the original study that like if food was dispensed every time that the button was pressed, then they would just press the button until they got enough food, and then they would stop. But if the button would distribute food at random intervals and it was an unpredictable outcome, then the animal would get addicted to pressing the button like it's a slot machine. They would keep pressing the button even after they didn't need food anymore, because it became like an addictive behavior. An operant conditioning chamber. And this was like a variation upon that idea of like, but a slightly different thing, but it was putting them in a room where instead of that particular behavior, they were studying the fact that like people would sort of confirm and they'd create hypotheses, and feedback would confirm or deny that particular idea, even if the data they were getting wasn't actually related to what was happening, which was very interesting. So the thing was going to give them $1 every minute, no matter what they did, and they didn't know that. So whatever behavior they thought caused the dollar to come out would get encouraged more and more, and they'd go on these crazy tangents trying to solve what to do in order to get more dollars. And some of them thought they were like nailing it, and some of them thought they were failing at it, and so on, but they were all getting the same results, but it was all in a vacuum, and they didn't know about each other, and so on. And that's what it's like to be a YouTuber. That's what it's like to be a YouTuber. People get a vague idea of like, oh, the algorithm favors this or doesn't favor this, and so on. And sometimes we have confirmation, like we do largely know that the algorithm favors watch time, which is why all the animators died, and vloggers and let's players and reaction channels took over. But a lot of the other things people say about the algorithm, like now the algorithm favors unique thumbnails or whatever, is often like a bunch of voodoo shit, and if you try to trace it back to its source, there's often not a source, and it's just kind of like, it's just people in that mind field operant conditioning chamber pressing buttons and stuff, trying to figure out how to get the dollar to come out, and they don't know if any of the dollars are coming out because of things they're doing, or if it's just luck or what. Which is also part of the reason why it's iffy to ask somebody like, how do I have a successful YouTube channel? Because like a lot of us just kind of fell into this. Like, step one of having a successful YouTube channel, be prolific. You gotta commit to it, but anything beyond that's really hard to gauge. You just want to make content that somebody likes, hopefully, and also then keep making it, because if you just stop making content, then it doesn't matter. You don't really have a channel. But stuff like when people are talking about like, this is the algorithmically favored thumbnail and stuff like that, it's often like highly debatable if anything they're saying is even vaguely true. It's why I get really frustrated, and one of the many reasons I'm kind of irritated often at game theory as a channel is that they would make these videos about like how to YouTube, and then their fucking ginormous audience would all come to me to tell me that they'd all come to me to tell me I'm doing my YouTube channel wrong because you have to do it the way that game theory said to do it. But like a lot of game theory's shit is like made up essentially in a similar way to that Mindfield episode where people are just kind of getting feedback and then they're trying to work backwards from their success or failure to figure out whether or not their actual behavior caused the success or failure, or whether it was the algorithm, or whether it was random luck or what. And so it's like it's all questionable conclusions drawn upon incomplete data, but the audience takes it as gospel because they think that he's like this god genius that's super correct about everything or whatever. I don't know. And it's also just rude to tell people how to do their jobs. So random commenters claiming to know how to do my job better than me based on a source that they don't even fully understand the authority of in the first place is like, big no. Why is Monster Hunter displayed in the description? Because Twitch and YouTube and every gaming streaming platform is bad. And you can change the data about what it says you're streaming, but it'll just not update. And they've never figured that out, even though it's been years. Neither of these two platforms have figured that out. My thing says Death Stranding. But which, by the way, one of the big fuck-ups here is that they've got these dumb pages where you just type in a game's name and then it tries to auto-complete it to an existing game, and then tries to match up to an existing game on that list because it has to be a game that they already know about. You can't just type anything down there. It's based on, like, I think at one point it was based on like Giant Bomb's database or something. That whole mess. And then it just tries to complete it, and then it just sits there. And there's not like there's not like a submit button. And that seems to be a fundamental problem with both the YouTube and Twitch way that it works. So there's no submit button, so you can't like type in the name of the game, then hit like confirm, yes, that's the name, save that right now, and keep it. You just type it in, and then it's like, it's there now. Okay, did it work? Did it switch over? Is it working? And you can't tell, and you're like, all right, well, whatever. I did my due diligence. I already typed the name in. I'm gonna start streaming now. And then midway through their stream, everyone's like, the wrong game. This is a weird episode of Slime Rancher. And then they all make the same joke, and it's like, I don't know what to tell you guys. These multi-billion-dollar companies can't design a website, and they haven't been able to fix this problem for like years. And I don't know why they're so bad at it, and why it's like it's such a widespread problem. I don't understand how it hasn't been addressed, but it just doesn't matter enough. So it happens.
Good luck out there, Sam.
So maybe one day, but also maybe never, they'll fix it. You guys, you got any mail for the veteran porter? You do! My hero! And he's so nearby, too. He's pretty nearby. I should leave this, though. I'll try to deliver the other one first, then I'll come back. There's also a bunch of YouTube features you can't disable as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong, though. Like, you can't tell... Like, sometimes the game... The page will identify what game is in the video. Under the video, I guess. And it's like, I don't think you get to tell it to do that or not do that. Which is frustrating when you're doing a Patreon, like, reveal of, like, what game won? And right under the video, it just says, Psychonauts! Or whatever. There's been a few instances of that. And then there's the thumbnail previews, where people highlight the thing, it just shows them the gameplay. And it's like, alright, well, cool. Stuff like that's not addressed because they care more about redesigning the website every couple months. Yeah. That's a whole thing. I'm frustrated with YouTube. On the they're redesigning the back end. The dashboard that I use in order to upload every day and manage my videos and so on. there's a new version of that entire experience, and it's the worst. I hate basically every change. It makes my job much harder and more time consuming, and makes all of my video management worse, and I basically have to use outside tools that aren't the website itself just to manage my own content, because I can't tell what the hell's happening without keeping spreadsheets and stuff. And so every single day it forces me onto the new dashboard, and then I hit the little button that says take me back to the old one. I don't want to use the beta. And I've long since given up on even giving them feedback about why I'm switching back. I just keep switching back because I need to do my work every day. And the day they take away the old version and force me to only use the new version, it's going to be shitty. And like, it's fundamentally incomplete too. One of the things that bugs me is that if you create a playlist, and I think you guys can do this too, because I think playlists, I think it's the part of the playlists that are just like a universal feature for everybody. There's all these features for playlists, like add all the videos from this playlist to another playlist, or change the ordering of this playlist to be based on publication date, or view count, or this or that. Like, there's a bunch of features for playlists, and there's also the feature for like, no, the path is gone. Why is the path gone? And there's a feature where you can like automatically add every video on your channel from here forth that has this in the title to this playlist, which is how I do all my playlists. And the current interface that is front-facing for YouTube for playlists features none of those features, basically. You have to click on a little ... then click on settings, then in the settings menu click on advanced settings, and then advanced settings will load a completely different fucking old version of the playlist screen. It'll revert to the old playlist screen from like 2 years ago, because that still has all these features that they've never added to the current version of the playlist screen. It's such a fucking design nightmare. Hello.
I just came in and you're just sitting here like berating a fucking...
yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You remember how shitty YouTube playlists are? Like the design, the fucking interface is so bad that if you click on like any options, it just reverts to the old design of the playlist so that it can access the features that they never added to the current one, even though it's been years.
Yeah. YouTube is very strange. YouTube is basically a corpse that people keep adding new clothes to, but when you want to do anything, you have to like still touch the corpse. Like, it's really weird. I don't get it. I don't understand what the philosophy in like designing that service is. It's very weird when you think about it. Like everything, even the new the new interface, the whatever they call it, Studio.
Oh, it's the worst.
Even Studio has like, you have to go to you have to go back to the previous iteration to do something, but even that iteration will make you go back to a previous iteration to do something. It's like, what is wrong here?
Yes, I think I found a menu somewhere where you go 2 versions back.
Like what?
Because like it pushes you back to an old version of a website that then pushes you back to another old version of the website because the one you went to still didn't have the functionality that they had, because they're like 2 entire versions of YouTube out of date at having all of the fucking features be available in each version of the website. And I'm like, what the fuck is this website? They have so much money. Why can't they fucking finish each iteration before they start the next one?
That's the thing. That's
I don't understand.
That's why I keep complaining that I don't think that there's like good project managers. I think the project just keeps falling. Like it basically what happens is YouTube gets so bloated with these concept features that by the time they execute, they get like 20% of what they wanted in. Yeah. And then someone like then management shows up and goes, okay, YouTube looks like shit. We need a version 3. And someone's like, we haven't even finished version 2. Like, we're not even 50% done. It's like, doesn't matter. Fucking 2016 now. We have to make it, you know, everything has to be bootstrap themed. There has to be beautiful, beveled, you know, video players. People don't want the old box. And it's like, I think people just want a functioning website. No. People want beauty. It's like, okay.
It's got to be snappy. I
YouTube always
dislike
looks good.
using almost every platform. Everything has fucky things about it. Like right now on Twitter, it's a fucking it's actually a nightmare. Like just trying to like open Twitter and like be like, oh, I just want to see all of the things that the people I'm following have posted in chronological order until I catch up. But then you just start scrolling upward and you're like, wait, I've seen these tweets before. I've seen these tweets before. And then it's like, in case you missed it, and it's the same tweets again. Sometimes I'll see your tweet 4 times in the same continuous scroll, and it's like, yeah, I get it. He was mad about whatever the fuck. I get it. And it just keeps repeating, and I'm like, why are you doing this to me? But then you get like, but if you
go to the top and tell it not to do that, but you have to do that on every single device you use Twitter on, because it's not a universal fucking setting.
It'll reset. It also tells you right there on the setting that it'll reset in like a week if you do it.
Yes.
Because it's non-permanent. But also there's the other days where I'm like, one of the nice things about Twitter is that it'll remember where I left off, kind of, and I can kind of keep scrolling from there. But on other days, Twitter will be like, nah, we just forgot. You're at the top of your scroll bar when you opened it today. And it's like, what? Now I gotta scroll in the other, the opposite of the normal chronological order that I scroll in. So I'm gonna get all these messages in backwards, and I'll never know, like, all I want to do is have the experience I have when I look at comments every day on YouTube, which is that I can close the gap. Like, I left off here and I can just get there again. Because what I do every day in the morning is I refresh my comments dashboard, which is all the comment threads on my entire YouTube channel in chronological order, and then I just scroll down until I reach what was originally the top comment before I refreshed it. Because like last night's last comment will be like the first thing on the screen because I haven't refreshed it yet. Then I'll refresh it and it'll show, and I'll just scroll down to that comment, and then I'll just read up from there until I hit the most recent comment. And it's like, there, I've read all the comments. And that's a fucking fantasy on Twitter. Like, that's an untenable concept. The idea that you would just be like, what have I not read yet? There they are. I did it. Like, that's just not a thing. That's not how Twitter works. You're just not allowed to do that. Yeah. That's also how Facebook once was before it became a nightmare algorithm that makes everybody angry on purpose.
That's pretty much what every single literal fucking website does now.
Yeah.
I feel like every website exists just to infuriate the people that use it for some, like, spiteful reason. I don't know. I don't know what I did to piss off Silicon Valley, but man, are they fucking mad. Because every update is like, why does everything suck now? What happened? Like not everyone necessarily remembers, but once upon a time, when you would open Facebook, the dashboard would just be everybody's posts in chronological order. Because time is a constant, Keith.
But now
time
it's
moves
like,
forward.
now it's figuring out. Now it's all about figuring out how to make people angry. Oh, this is gonna be a very dangerous drive. I'm gonna die. This is gonna be fun.
It is weird.
I'm beyond stakes. Come at me, world.
Twitter is even worse about it. Because,
no, it's horrible. Like fucking Sean and H Bomber guy had like a controversial take like 2 days ago, and I've fucking read their tweets 30 times because it just keeps showing them to me over and over again because they're getting so much interaction. So don't you want to see these highly engaging tweets that so many people are engaged with? And it's like, no, I've read them already. Fuck you, Twitter. I just don't want to open Twitter anymore.
It's, you know what is another thing that's starting to piss me off is now whenever I'll like something where someone will make a comment like, oh, such and such anime is funny or whatever, right, guys? And I'm like, yeah, okay, it's funny. And Twitter goes, oh, do you want to fucking follow anime? Like, what does that even mean? Like,
the concept of anime?
Like, the concept of anime?
Are you an anime boy?
And so now every fucking time there's a tweet about anime, there's a fucking bubble above it that says, hey, by the way, you can click this button, you can follow every anime tweet ever made by anybody who talks about anime. And I'm like, why would I want that?
So
Have you met the anime community?
That's the
awful.
deluge.
That's an awful choice. Like,
you will die.
It does it for everything.
Oh god, there's a car graveyard here.
For Xbox, for PlayStation, for Nintendo Switch, for art. Literally art. I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Art, like just art?
Just
like,
art?
art even has genres. Twitter's basically like doing...
You can't follow the concept of art.
On Twitter, you can.
You have the power.
But you know what? In the best part, I think my favorite part is Twitter at no point ever has asked me, do you want to follow Overwatch? Like I'm a part of, I follow the Overwatch League Twitter account, and I follow the Overwatch Twitter account, so I can keep up to date with stuff. Never does it ever ask, oh, do you want to follow Overwatch? like I think it knows. Twitter's aware of all the rants I've ever made about Overwatch. It's like, man, maybe
They
let's
know
skip
not
that one.
to.
They've also never asked me to follow politics, so that's also possible. But it keeps recommending politics on trends. Every time I look, I'm like, oh, I want to keep up the trends on, like, you know, anime, video games, and that's about all I care about. It's like, did you know that Trump did stop, please, stop, ban. I don't want to follow politics. And it's like, okay. But currently trending is Dem debate. Just stop, like Twitter, fuck off. And I keep adjusting the trends for you.
Give it to me. No, come back.
And it keeps insisting. It keeps insisting that because I live in California and because I'm over the age of 18, the only thing that matters to me is literally chaos in the world. I only care about the terrible things going on in the world right now.
Didn't even give me
like,
what I wanted. God damn it.
What are you playing?
I'm playing Death Stranding.
Oh.
I did this whole,
So you're just running
I know
around?
this whole ritual you do where you like, you walk up to a porter that you see in the public and you like them and you give them likes and yeah,
You like them?
you give them likes and then you put an item on the ground and then they'll trade that item for the item they have. And these two people both had oh god, I'm trying not to kill you, but I can't drive right now. They both have packages for the person I'm trying to make like me. And, so I did the whole ritual, but then I put my item on the ground, and he gives me an item in return. He gave me the fucking other item he's carrying, not the one that's for the person I'm trying to get reputation with. I'm like, ah, fuck. What? Damn it. It was the whole waste of time, the whole ritual. Well, it's all a mess. Oh well.
How do you
Hopefully this is enough.
cure stupidity? Probably by force. So I'm
Guy who
going to-
keeps asking about Zero Time Dilemma, I already discussed that at length. Go start the stream over. I'm not going to start that entire discussion over.
That's just
Well, it's just the law of streams. The moment you finish talking about something, somebody joins the stream, then asks the exact question you were just talking about, and you're like, I can't start over.
for me. It's more just the.
Many porters who can carry
I just don't understand why it couldn't be good. Like why you couldn't just put the fucking effort in to make a decent game, and instead you just didn't 3 times in a row.
Oh, the
That's
Zero
a-
Escape people.
Yeah, like there are so many, and what upsets me more is that there are very good examples from fucking Japan of really good instances of this exact genre, but for some reason this asshole on 3 occasions decided, no, I'm not gonna go with the formula that's successful. I'm gonna go with the one that's been provably bad because I made it bad. Like,
Oh, cool. I got no progress. I love this guy.
oh right, that's out now. I gotta buy that.
Oh god, I'm falling. Rest.
Did you
Right,
oh, well,
right.
I guess that's not really your genre of games. Never mind.
What are you talking about?
Kunai.
Kunai?
Yeah. Kunai is a indie game that just came out. It's a... How would you describe it? Kind of think of... It has like Shovel Knight type platforming, where you have to... It's platforming, but only in a unique style. So it's not just the run left, jump over type thing. I don't know. I like the style and the aesthetic and the difficulty curve it presents, which is like platforming, but in a weird mobile way. Yeah, like you can you overcome jumps by like throwing a kunai in the ceiling and you know, rope lifting over.
Yeah,
but you can,
I kind of hit my limit on platformers. I need,
yeah,
like,
that's why I was like, that's not really the genre
I usually
you
play
would-
them for like the other part of the game in some way. Although I do like
Which is-
Shovel Knight
that
in
makes sense.
general. But like I prefer,
Shovel Knight's
but I prefer
different,
like
though.
a Metroidvania or something,
That's
or a
that's fair.
or a collectathon,
Is this?
like Banjo-Kazooie or Psychonauts. which are like casual platformers.
I mean, it depends. Well, it's only as casual as you make it.
Or like Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, I mean, again,
you can
it's
reach
as casual as you make it.
you can pretty casually get like 95% completion of that game.
No, I know. I just meant that like then there's the hey, do you want to do that 1% like
yeah,
no
you
death
can be a
run?
lunatic if you want to, but it's not super necessary.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. I actually, because I haven't played this, I've only watched the development of it, but I actually don't know what the like. I don't actually know if it has any Metroidvania type stuff in it. It's not using it as a selling point.
Sorry, I'll be
so I'm
right
gonna
back.
assume not. Yeah, same here. I need to grab something.
Good morning, Sam. Blessed
Oh yeah, what was I doing? I was grabbing
your generosity.
Keith's chat so I could see the chat. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. As Norman Reedus sleeps on his backside like a little baby. Norman Reedus baby. You know nothing of Zero Escape? Well, let me tell you. Honestly, okay, so I don't know. It depends on how much you're into anime. So if you've ever seen ReZero, Steins Gate, fuck, what's the other one?
I am returned.
There's like a handful of really good examples of this genre, but for some reason, the one everyone knows is Zero Escape. But
Oh, you're talking about the time travel stories?
yeah, there's so many. Well, not even time travel, specifically, self-aware time travel, like where the person is aware of their knowledge in past lives.
Yeah.
Zero Escape is the only one that wants to go in this like almost mean direction of like
Shibuya Scramble and Omen's Sight were both better than Zero Escape.
Shibuya Scramble is amazing.
Have you played Omen's Sight?
That actually sounds really familiar. I don't think so though.
You ever played
Sight.
Stories Path of Destinies?
I have not played Omen's Sight. I do own it though. It's on my list of like games I will, like you, one day I'll get to these fucking games.
I think you played Stories at some point, right? You play as Renardo the Fox, and
Yeah,
he has to
Stories
do a
is
bunch
good.
of branching storylines of trying to. Like, I don't think he knew what was happening in the other timelines. I think by the end he eventually does, like in Zero Escape, basically.
Yes,
So it's
by
like the
end,
same
he
premise.
does figure it out.
Yeah.
But the difference in
so
that
Omen's
game.
Sight's just the next game those people made. So it's another game with Batman combat and time traveling anthropomorphic animal man.
Okay.
But you're way more intensely aware of the fact that you're changing the timelines intentionally. So instead of starting over from scratch and making 3 choices over and over again, like in Stories, you instead like are fundamentally changing the landscape over time.
Yeah.
It's good.
And see, and I like those kind of stories. I really do like the time travel aware of the alternate timeline stories. Those are great. There's something kind of macabre about the idea that someone understands, or someone gets to be aware of all the countless deaths that have occurred for all the people that they care about, and there's only like a single solution, but they have the stress of trying to like put all of these failures into a bottle and like squeeze out the solution to the mystery.
Squeeze out the solution.
Well, that's what kind of feels like when you have all of this chaos going on and you're like, why did I die here? Why did I die here? Why did I die? And you're just squeezing as hard as you can to figure out like what's the commonality. That guy has face blindness. That's the solution. Like, I really don't understand how it's hard, like why it's so easy to make a bad version of that.
Yeah. Pro tip: if you're frustrated with stories like that and want good versions of it, watch a Russian Doll. That's a good
Is that a
show
live action?
on Netflix. Yeah, it's starring the lady with the big frizzy orange hair from Orange Is the New Black. She's the lead actress and she's really good. I think her name's Natasha. It's her and the blonde lady Amy Poehler from Parks and Rec. They both like the two of them I think co-wrote and co-directed the whole show.
Oh, wow.
And it's a woman that keeps dying and repeating the same day over and over again, trying to figure out how to get unstuck in that loop. And it's
Groundhog Day.
so well
Yeah.
directed and it's so entertaining. And it's like, oh, got all these really interesting details of like cultural influences from her Jewish heritage, but also like these like great musical cues and jokes and things going on. Like it's such a well done series.
So I don't know. Have you ever? I'm assuming you have, but have you seen Groundhog Day?
No,
Really? You have not watched Groundhog Day?
nope. I keep hearing references to elements of it, and so on.
Groundhog Day is what got me into this genre. I watched it like fucking God knows how long ago on like Stars or HBO, and I remember being completely taken aback by the idea that Bill Murray was just killing himself on purpose, trying to find what would make him stop. And I was like, what the fuck? like what kind of fucking genre is this where the main hero is like just suffering for the entire movie?
I've heard stuff about it, like the idea that like he starts mastering entire skills basically because he's stuck in the loop for so long. So like he learns how to like sculpt ice statues and things like that. He entire
literally
instruments and languages, and he memorizes the schedule of like all the different people in the world and starts like
that's
using
what
that to
I mean.
his advantage.
That's why I love that movie. In terms of the genre, I love that as an example of the genre because it's so brutal when you think about the time. When you think about how long this very sentient, very aware, and continually suffering person like just lives this life on repeat forever. The same jokes, the same conversations, the same people. Like it's terrifying. It is a hell I would never want to live in.
Oh my god, the community saved me.
And that's crazy to me.
But
I feel like the one thing that Groundhog Day doesn't do that I really, really appreciate the anime ReZero, or the novel if you read that first, does is they actually touch on the terrifying
I think it's also a
aspect
game, like a VN.
ReZero? ReZero might be a VN.
I think it's on Steam.
You might be thinking Steins Gate.
Because I think I also know about Steins Gate, but I think I might know both for that reason, but I don't know. I don't remember.
Does ReZero have a game?
I don't remember.
Yep, it does. ReZero for PS4.
I don't have my finger on the anime pulse, so if I know about something, there's a decent chance it's a VN.
I mean, that's just.
Although I do got that Beastars release date on my schedule. Stephanie and I are gonna watch that when that comes out. Come on, Beastars, just come out.
Oh, Beastars.
It comes out in March on Netflix.
Oh, on Netflix. I was like, what? It's already available. What are you doing?
It's available, but not legally in the United States.
I thought Beastars was on Crunchyroll.
No.
Are you sure?
I don't know, you can check if you want. I'm playing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's been the whole thing that people have been like angry about for a while now, is that it's been exclusively in Japan, and it's just continually not coming out in the United States.
Oh.
That fucking intro is so good.
Oh yeah, because Netflix nabbed it.
That stop motion intro is so beautiful.
For Beastars?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. I really hate Netflix. They're kind of the worst. They're the worst people to pick up anime because they always have to wait until it's done airing, which is the stupidest time. The stupidest time to air anime is when it's complete. You always want to air anime as it's happening, which is obvious. the entire medium is built around this
Yeah,
concept.
they back themselves into a corner where whenever they make a show, they just dump it onto the internet. It's like, here's the whole season. So then as a result, they're afraid to release something weekly. So when they gain access to something exclusively for a region that is releasing weekly, they tend to then just bundle it all up and wait for it to finish, then just dump the whole season at once.
Unless you're the unfortunate...
Unless you're in England, where they just don't.
or you're unfortunate enough to want to follow a specific anime like Carol and Tuesday, and then you realize that Netflix were an asshole and broke the entire 24 episode season into 2 seasons. So you had to wait for the... Because again, Carol and Tuesday was, you know, an anime. So it aired until it ran out of episodes, which was 24. But because it's longer than the standard Netflix 12 season, they were like, shit, we can't wait for like 6 months for Carol and Tuesday to come out. So we're going to have to release half of it. And I was like, what the fuck? Why would you do this? Just release it. Release the fucking show.
Oh, I hate this quest line so much.
They did that for a couple of series. Like, I know they did that for, oh goodness, what the hell is it called?
Seven Deadly Sins, they did that for.
Yep, Seven Deadly Sins.
They did it for. Dude, for fucking like 4 years.
With 7 broken sailors were the
Alchemist.
7 deadly sins.
Full Metal Alchemist wasn't complete on Netflix for like 4 years.
I didn't watch it on Netflix. So
it was so bad. I literally owned the Blu-ray versions of it because I couldn't watch the goddamn show on Netflix.
I just remember what it was. It was Shadowhunters. That's what I'm thinking of. They did that as well, where halfway through the season it just stopped, and then they did like a season 3.5. It was ridiculous.
I'm about ready to give up on this guy. What the fuck?
I really hate. I just don't like that.
I don't know if any others.
Beastars is the Wolf Bunny romance. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't say it's just a romance. I would say Beastars is a lot of things. Beastars is kind of the furry version of. I'm sorry. It would be. It's like more of Japan's version of Zootopia in some respect.
I've never watched Seven Deadly Sins, so every time somebody mentions it, all that comes to mind is the flogging Molly song.
You really should watch it. It is a really good show.
Yeah,
and they ended in such a weird spot too.
I feel like I have like 6 more promising anime to watch first.
Yeah,
I mean, so behind.
I wouldn't put that as the first. I would actually put ReZero as ahead. Oh, actually, did you see?
I need to watch ReZero too.
Funimation just released.
For me, it's a
Paranoia Agent.
It is. Yeah, that just came out like yesterday or something.
Yeah.
So we're psyched about that.
What came out yesterday? Sorry.
Paranoia Agent. It's a Satoshi Kon series that's been completely inaccessible for years because they stopped They never printed Blu-rays for it, and also it's not been on any service. And it's.
Is it on Netflix now, or is it?
It's on Funimation.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only on Funimation streaming.
I'll pay $6 for that. I'll give them $6 and then binge the whole series.
There's a lot of Funimation stuff on there as well, but
no, it's not on there.
Okay,
but also a Blu-ray is going to come out for it later this year.
Yeah, Funimation's releasing a Blu-ray.
It'll finally have a physical release on Blu-ray.
They just had to wait.
It only came out on DVD here, and also it's prohibitively expensive and rare.
Well, because so it came out first on Cartoon Network during its little Adult Swim, not Adult Swim thing. When they used to have like the After Hours Toonami. And it was very heavily edited. Because there's a lot of scenes in there that were not
anybody
great.
else to love me, because fuck this guy.
God, that show is so good. It's surprising.
Seven
that
Deadly
it's been
Sins is a shonen, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
I'm out.
Double check though.
I'm pretty much immediately out.
Is it really? Yeah. I guess it is a shonen.
I don't care about teenagers getting powers to defeat God.
So that's why I say
shit.
it's not really a shonen in that respect.
So
it's not about
done.
teenagers. It's just about it's about adults living in a fantasy world where how do you talk about this plot without spoiling it?
That's a tough question.
The whole story is basically a spoiler. The point is that there's a group of knights that are not teenagers, that exist to atone for a sin that they've committed in their past by indenture, basically kind of like lifelong servitude to a kingdom. And a threat rises where they are needed to save the kingdom. And that devolves into fucking Game of Thrones style nonsense where there's shit going on and then there's shit going on about that shit. And you're like, what's happening?
Okay, so I think I found a plot or a synopsis that's spoiler free, I think, based on what I'm reading.
I'm hesitant that they're just gonna like try to really play up the parts that aren't important.
Well, here, let me
spoilers.
Let me throw this at you. Here.
I just want to load it directly in the car.
It looks like
this
a decent
building
enough
sucks.
intro to the series that you could probably get behind it and get a sense of what it might be.
Oh yeah, I mean that's good. Yeah, that sums it up pretty well.
So yeah, the 7 deadly sins were once a group of knights in the region of Britannia, who disbanded after they were supposedly, they supposedly plotted to overthrow the Lioness Kingdom. They supposed defeat.
Do you want to just say what's interesting about it? Because a lore summary is just inherently something I'll just tune out.
The interesting thing about it is that
I don't care about the Knights of Sidonia or whatever.
Yeah, the thing that's interesting about it is that they created there is no how do you
By the way, I'm dealing with the most unique, garbage, stupid, video game specific problem right now, and that I'm supposed to deliver pizza, and the stupid pizzas just come in shitty suitcases, and Sam, the fucking nightmare idiot he is, just picks them up by the handle, but the whole objective is to keep them flat, because they're pizzas. You can't make them vertical. But if I pick them up by hand, he fucking hangs them like a suitcase would. So immediately you're taking damage from the stupid fucking pizza being sideways. But he doesn't, like you have the objective to not fucking make it vertical, but Sam's too stupid to recognize the objective, so he just holds it vertical, and so it's like this whole logistical problem created entirely by the fact that you don't understand what the fuck the game wants you, because it's like you have a completely unique problem that never shows up anywhere else in the game, and your character is just not interested in helping you solve the problem, and it's like, I swear to God.
I'm pretty sure the cargo management is also a nightmare too.
I'm trying to figure out how to park my stupid vehicle like next to the door just right where it'll register as being within a range so I can load it directly into the vehicle from the mission creation screen, because Sam's too stupid to hold the package. What is this game?
Oh boy. That's yeah, that's something.
There we go.
Are you able to manually adjust where everything is on your back, or is it all automatic?
Why do I have to carry this in my hand?
What the with Death Stranding?
I think it's automatic. When you pick up a box, he just automatically defaults to carrying it.
It must be carried by hand at all times? What does that mean?
So it means you must carry it by hand and damage it.
Well, you can pick it up and put it on your back, and I know you can auto-arrange everything to be optimal. I just don't know if you can arrange everything.
No, I think Keith's saying the problem is he literally needs to, the character needs to hold on to the box in a way that doesn't damage the pizza. But the problem is that the game isn't made that way, because the game doesn't care how you hold packages, except for this one package. And so they didn't build any systems for this.
So it got worse. The champagne has to be carried by hand at all times for some reason.
That's so weird that you can't put it on your back or on any of the other cargo points that are just all over the suit.
Welcome to the Stranding genre.
He just knocks it down the stairs. That's, yep. That's definitely what you need to do.
How the fuck do I carry it flat?
No, could you show me?
Oh, right. I need to have a trailer thing behind me.
Can you just imagine somebody from Domino's, for example, just showing up and holding your pizza vertically out to you?
I would love it. That would prove to me that the Matrix is real.
What if somebody just like delivered you a vertical pizza?
Some fucking idiot held a pizza box sideways, like a briefcase. I would love it. I'd be like, okay, so that's true. So there are literally like bots in this game, because like no human would do this. Like, no person could literally make this mistake for this long. Like, you couldn't have brought it to me having made this mistake.
The crazy thing is, I have actually seen people carry a pizza box
All
sideways.
right, I solved the mystery.
I mean, probably maliciously.
I forgot this game has a shopping cart that you can drag behind you.
I don't know, because I saw them
So I
carry
have to
it
walk
over
with
to a
that
table,
on foot.
sit down, and then eat it.
Because you literally
So,
can't
like-
put the fucking pizza in your backpack horizontally. Like you literally just can't for some reason. Even though I've seen the backpack stretch way beyond that point, but you just
Yeah.
can't. He just won't put it on horizontally. He'll only load it
Wait,
vertically.
I wonder if
do you
it's
carry it?
I-
Wait, how do you get this shopping cart? Oh, I'm trying to watch you get this
it's a
shopping
little,
cart.
it's a little hover cart. It's attached to me by a cable and it hovers. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
only way I can carry these things horizontally.
This would never work in real life. This thing would flip over immediately.
Well, it hovers.
Well, that's why it's a gyro stabilized hover system. Like,
Yeah, it's a little cart.
Have you met any? Have you met?
You can chain them to
literally
each other.
any
You can have
gyros?
several and like a train behind you. I never use this mechanic because you can't.
Oh.
It's
non-bike friendly.
You can't use zip lines with it, or bikes, or vehicles.
Oh, that's.
Or,
you should be able to strap it to the back of your bike.
And you
Come
also
on.
can't
Wait,
use.
you can't use a fucking bike with it.
No.
Yeah, that one doesn't make any sense.
You know the thing that pizza guys do? They drive your pizza to you.
You can't attach
What
to
the
it. You
fuck?
can't attach it to a vehicle, and then the vehicle. So if you ever want to switch to using a vehicle to go across a great expanse, then you have to take all the stuff off the cart and put it in the vehicle.
Wait a second.
And yeah,
These
here I am
motherfuckers have an
earlier.
auto stabilizing gyro shopping cart, but they don't have like food 3D printers.
This is
It's
not
the whole
Star Trek.
thing.
What do you mean this is not Star Trek? We literally have that now. We have that right here, but we
Also,
don't
I'm
have.
going through a militarized zone delivering this pizza, so they're hunting me.
I know what you mean
What does
by
that mean?
food
Are
3D
you
printers,
people?
as in like.
I'm being
for example,
hunted.
like
They
the
want my
3D
pizza.
What?
They want my pizza. They're going to. They'll shoot me for it.
Norman Reedus, with a shopping cart and a baby, delivers pizza.
They will shoot me for this pizza.
Oh my god.
They're addicted to packages. I told you this during Carcassonne.
They're addicted to.
They're addicted to packages, and
Yeah.
if they don't get it, they'll go crazy.
What if you poop in a package?
They're
and
coming
just,
for
like,
me. They have AKs.
Yeah, but going
Oh, there's
back
lasers
to,
flying past me.
what you were commenting on-
Oh god, I can't go across this bridge. I can go over here.
Wait, are you not up to date? How come? How far back are you?
Shooting me with lasers. It hurts.
How do I? It says live.
It's usually on YouTube. It's about a 15 to 30 second delay.
Ow.
I don't see like any lasers going past.
Guns
right now.
hurt. Guns hurt. I'm half dead now.
Like where? Oh, there.
Oh, there's lasers. Yeah.
Oh, there's a laser. Wow, that's a real big delay.
But
Oh, they.
yeah, no. Going back to what you were saying with the, oh, you can't. They have hover bikes and everything. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, you can have this gigantic stack of stuff that's quite literally as tall as Sam is piled up onto your back, and be on a vehicle, but you can't tow this thing behind you. That just seems silly to me.
Yeah.
It just seems more silly that you.
I
wouldn't
like
just
the-
create
I like the little
You- wait,
card,
you
but they
create
made-
technology where you can build.
Why
bridges
did
out
you
of
drop
nothing.
that, asshole? Warn me. You didn't even warn me, you just fucking dropped it.
I mean,
God damn it.
Norman's his own man. He'll do whatever he wants.
It's gonna be a long run. So how you guys doing?
I mean, I'm not doing too bad. I just finished up with one of my D&D sessions.
I've got to go from the
currently stuck
bottom
in-
left corner of the map to the top left corner of the map.
Oh, jeez.
On foot.
Currently stuck in one of the 9 layers of hell.
It's,
so that
it's
was
cool. I
always
built a whole fucking freeway, but let's walk.
He did just straight throw it on the ground.
Yeah, I don't. He's like, I'm tired.
Just like done. I was like, damn, Norman.
Norman's tired. evidently.
Yes, would you like some dirt with your pizza?
I'll be honest, I've never been.
No, that was the champagne.
Oh wait, you know
Oh,
what? That's not
champagne.
true.
I'm
I have
holding
been
the
so
champ-
tired. I dropped something.
I'm holding the champagne by hand.
Yeah.
The pizza's all on his cart. It's getting hit by the age rain though. That's gonna make it age. So
Yeah.
hopefully I can get it out of here in time.
Wait, it ages inside of the briefcase?
No, it ages
So the
the
briefcase itself
but-
actually ages.
Yeah,
So
That's fine, isn't it?
but like eventually you'll run out of briefcase.
Yes and no.
I fell.
So once the case is degraded, the item itself will actually start taking damage.
Why did I even build a freeway if I'm not allowed to drive?
Wait, what happens? What happens to food when age rain hits it? Does it age?
It starts
the food?
decaying. Yeah.
Wait, it starts decaying or it ages?
Well, it ages.
They're kind of the same.
Everything
difference.
it's
Dude,
hitting
man, this
ages.
world's kind of great. Cheese must be easy as fuck to produce. You can just leave that shit outside.
Norman, put your hood on. There you go.
The biggest problem is that Timefall does the same thing to people.
Well,
So
I mean, you don't stand outside. You have like a, you have like
Right,
a
but
greenhouse for
coming into
aging
contact
pizza.
with something that would be wet with Timefall probably would also be detrimental. Which is why you don't see him ever touch his suit with his bare hands.
This seems like a pain in the ass. Why did?
Oh yeah, ultimate final detail. I'm doing this hard ass mission for the villain.
What?
Yeah, Troy
Wait,
Baker, the
he wants
asshole.
you to- wants you to deliver the pizza.
He keeps ordering in increasingly trolly pizza deliveries from further and further away with shittier and shittier conditions attached to them. And I
Why
know
are you
he's the
doing
villain,
it?
and for some reason Sam's like, yeah, cool. Let's do it. And I know he's the villain, so it's weird. Last time I walked into a room and it was full of like all these signs of like, Sam, we gotta get Sam, fuck you, Sam, because I think he accidentally left the door open or something.
He accidentally left the door.
Because like the place is named anonymously after some other guy, but you go in there and it's clearly Higgs. And also all the mail that I get ordering the pizzas is from Higgs. It's addressed from Higgs, not the anonymous identity that he's pretending to be. So I don't know what the fuck. This game doesn't understand how to do narrative irony.
Are you upset that Kojima doesn't understand narrative irony?
Yes.
That's ironic.
There was a part in the game where Higgs sneaks a bomb into one of your deliveries and wants you to blow up this town. Like he's trying to trick you into delivering a bomb to this town. But
Okay.
when you load the cargo, it just says bomb. Like
Wait, what?
There's no pretense of it being not a bomb, but Sam doesn't know it's a bomb. So like midway through the journey, there's a revelation like, oh my god, it's a bomb. But you were like, wait,
what?
Yeah, and we're like, what? You didn't know? I knew. The inventory just calls it a bomb, and it warns you. And it warns you not to drop it. And if you drop it, you die. But the whole time, Sam, who's behaving carefully with this item to not break it because it's a bomb, doesn't know it's a bomb. And it's like your brain goes back and forth so hard trying to process this idea that it just breaks because it's fundamentally nonsense. And people try to defend it because they're bad at storytelling too and think that this is okay. It's like there's all these people defending it like this totally makes sense, and it's like, you guys are fucking crazy.
Yeah, no, as a
you have to
DM,
defend
that
it,
just
or
sounds
it's
ridiculous to me.
fundamentally
Like,
stupid.
yeah. How would you not have your character realize if it's very clearly labeled explosive, do not drop? Like, I'm sorry, that makes zero sense to me whatsoever.
They had a big paradox
Nobody is
problem
that
because
oblivious.
you fundamentally have to treat a bomb more carefully. You can't go far away from it or it'll detonate, and you also can't like drop it or it'll blow up. So they have to warn you all these things so that you don't break it. But the protagonist doesn't know it, so it leads to a situation where the protagonist is being really careful about this bomb that they don't know is a bomb. And it's like, you could have just let the
as opposed to
protagonist know.
him just, casually chucking a box full of champagne across the map. Like, okay. Something that's almost very certainly labeled as fragile. Just makes zero sense.
I don't know.
I've been
it's weird to me
running
because
for
I
years.
I've watched someone play every single Metal Gear game,
Metal Gear.
And there's not, and if there's anything I took away from Metal Gear is that it was fun, action-packed, anime as fuck.
Yeah, I really feel like they should have stuck to what Kojima's good at instead of
Which is nonsense. Kojima is great at nonsense bullshit. He is terrible at storytelling. He can't tell a fucking book from start to finish without messing it up. I guarantee you. He
Yeah.
could probably read literally a sentence and fuck it up. He just can't do that. And I don't understand why people keep asking him to make stories. People should be asking him to provide directorial input on things like tone and cinematography and all these other things that directors are good at except for writing. He's kind of like George Lucas in that sense, where he can do a lot of great things except for the thing that people want him to do, which is make a story.
Yeah.
I just want him to make games that are like 15 hours or long or less, like he used to.
Keith,
Because all of
That
these
would
like
be-
infinitely long games are a nightmare.
that's the point. That's the moral of the story, is that you're wasting your life playing games. Kojima's that
This
meta.
fucking
Or in this
cliff.
case,
I
I
can't
don't even
get
know if you
down.
can call this a game more than a walking simulator.
No,
Like, this
it's
is suffering from
grand
Daisy
game.
syndrome.
This is not.
Right now.
This is not a walking simulator.
I mean, it does
Are
have
you
action.
sure? It sure as heck
Yeah.
looks like one to me.
It has
No.
it has third-person shooting. It has exploration.
It's-
It has
All of the
lot
delivery
of things.
mechanics are actually like a bunch of dense like gameplay mechanics. Like that's. You could only call it a walking simulator if nothing in the world had ever been called a walking simulator before, and you were inventing a whole new genre about simulating walking. Then you could be like, "Wow, it's a hardcore simulator on this like walking idea," and so on.
Hardcore?
But when people talk about like farming simulators or those other simulators, like they're like mechanical breakdowns of ideas. But people have already
Hardcore farming
poisoned the
simulator.
well. People have already poisoned the well for years with the walking simulator idea by calling other things walking simulators when they mean like it's a game where you just press forward and the story happens. So now you can't call a game about simulating walking a walking simulator because
What?
it's not
Wait,
accurate.
They don't call them walking simulators? What is Edith Finch? It's a fucking walking simulator.
No, that's what I'm saying is people have poisoned the well by calling those games walking simulators even though they're not about simulating walking. So now that we have this game which is technically about simulating walking, you can't call it a walking simulator because it implies that's one of those games, and that's fundamentally different. So those are games that are basically devoid of mechanics where you mostly walk forward and the narrative just happens, and like that's fundamentally not what Death Stranding is.
Isn't
Is-
that walking simulator though?
That's-
Which one?
The idea of just walking and doing nothing else, like, isn't that a walking simulator?
No, because like I've said, all the other types of simulators, the whole point of a simulator is that you're like actually mechanically expressing an idea, like a farming simulator or whatever the fuck. Whereas the people have been like
mean-
jokingly calling things walking simulators that are just games where you press W, and like those games don't do anything fundamentally to actually simulate walking in any meaningful way other than the way that every other game has walking in it. So they're not about
so-
walking,
I don't know,
but because
what
they
about
already, but
Firewatch?
because people already call those games walking simulators, now you can't call a game about simulating walking a walking simulator, because it's
Yeah, so-
it implies that it's a game that's devoid of mechanics, which is kind of what Effie was going for, but that's not what Death Stranding is.
And Firewatch, by the way, is absolutely defined as a walking simulator. That it is in one of the top-rated
it
sections
does have
on Steam for
mechanics,
walking
like, it does have-
simulator.
Mechanics
Yeah.
about it.
Edith Finch, Firewatch, The Stanley Parable, to name some of the ones that you
Isn't
probably
it
are
Stanley
familiar
Parable? Oh no, never mind.
with. Let's see here. Tacoma.
Wait, Tacoma is a walking simulator?
Yep. Walking simulator, story-rich adventure. Yep.
But it's okay.
It's
Yeah,
really
sorry,
it's,
I'm
it's really funny to call Tacoma that because you don't really walk. You,
Yeah,
you barely move
right,
over the
really-
course of the
I'm saying,
entire
like,
game.
That is what is being defined under, like, just looking
yeah,
at
Steam
Steam.
just has.
That's what I'm
certain
saying though.
genres.
It's like fun. That's why you
here's the
can't.
thing.
That's why you can't call Death Stranding a walking simulators, because it's already a weird definition all on its own that means its own thing.
Ah,
that it isn't even
that's
really
a good-
attached to walking as a concept.
There you
but
go.
because
You
people
can
are
have an
call-
offshoot.
But
Call it a hiking
because
simulator.
people call the narrative. Because people call narrative games that are devoid of other mechanics walking simulators, now you can't call games that simulate walking simulators, because
Okay, here. I have,
that would
I
be a
have better definition
that'd be
for
a
you.
fundamentally confusing definition to use, and everyone and they would defeat the point of language.
That's
An Amazon
okay.
simulator. There you go.
First of all, there are plenty of games that break the entire convention of genres.
Yeah.
Like games that call themselves something and you're like, yeah, that's about as not right as you could be. And
Yeah, but I'm just saying like that inherently the whole point of like genres is to communicate an idea. And since
Yeah.
walking simulator is already taken to mean other things, you can't call this that.
sure you can. Kojima could just show up and say, this is a real
Well, yeah,
walking
he's like,
simulator.
this is the
Everyone else
first
is
Stranding
invalid.
type game or whatever, but that's not, I mean, that's technically
Well, this is what-
more helpful in meaning than calling it a walking simulator.
Yeah.
What is a
like the first
Stranding
the first
genre?
instance I remember
that
of
mean?
hearing the
That's
term
not even
walking.
English.
The first time I ever heard the term walking simulator, for me at least, was Daisy. Now, if you know anything about
What?
Daisy, yeah, you're
Who-
walking
whoever you
literally.
walking simulator.
Whoever you
hours.
heard say that is a stupid person and we should disregard that data point as an outlier. That's how data works.
I'm not talking about like the full release game. I'm talking about like back when it was a mod kind of deal.
But, like,
you were
Daisy-
It was
literally walking
still
for
a mod
hours
of a
from point to
fucking
point.
Daisy is a
first-person shooting
Daisy is a
game.
survival sandbox. That's already a genre.
How,
It's a multiplayer
Isn't it a
sandbox
third-person
survival
shooter?
game with survival elements. You have meters that you gotta keep maintaining or it'll die. That's the
Yeah,
whole
but
point.
the moment it has a
that's
gun, it stops being a
unambiguously a
walking
specific
simulator.
genre. There's no
Right,
debate
but
to be had there.
That's kind of where I'm going.
No,
with this.
walking
People
simulator
use the
started
definitions-
with it started with Dear Esther.
Yeah, which
That's really
had-
unambiguous. There's a historical
guns.
starting point for people using the word walking simulator. It's not really debatable. Knowing some idiots doesn't really change that.
I think.
Fair.
Like, cool,
I think
somebody
the
said a really
idea-
stupid thing once. They're wrong. Just like the people that called Pathological walking simulator when it's a fucking hardcore survival RPG nightmare.
Oh, technically everything's a walking
You have to,
simulator. if
you have to
move your
disregard
character.
extraneous data points of garbage.
But then Keith, we have nothing to go on.
Because everyone's stupid.
Everyone's stupid. Well, I mean, every
You
game
guys,
that's
I
called
made
a
it to
walking simulator
I made it to the
isn't a
freeway
walking
that I spent the
simulator.
last like 2 weeks building, so this mission's gonna be really easy now.
Congratulations.
I'm just running on the freeway. I built this whole fucking thing, by the way.
I built
Fucking, this is my victory lap.
This is mine.
Yeah. See, now you need to just get a the Trans-American Highway back up and running.
You can't build a highway in Dear Esther.
You can build a highway of emotions.
Damn.
Wait, what was Dear Esther about?
I don't.
I've
know.
never played
I
it.
just know that so I have no idea.
The Dear Esther people went on to make
Dear Esther.
Amnesia, a Machine for Pigs, and then they made Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
So it's probably like a
yeah, Dear
psychological
Esther's the
game.
spooky ghost one.
It was a Half-Life
Another
mod, I
psychological
think,
horror.
originally. That then became a standalone
Yeah.
release. And that's like the origin point for walking simulators, as what people call them
It's
now.
developed by the Chinese Room.
Yeah, I just said it's
Oh,
the people
no.
that made Machine for Pigs and
They made
Everybody's Gone to the
bad
Rapture.
Amnesia.
I liked
That's
Everybody's Gone to the Rapture.
What? I've never.
It was
heard
an
of that
interesting little situation.
I haven't heard about that either.
game.
You just
Everybody's
walk
gone
around a
to the-
town where everyone's vanished, and you see visions of like the final moments everybody had before they vanished.
What? Like the end of Avengers Endgame, where you just like the Thanos snap and everybody's just kind of like, okay, bye.
Well, there, yeah,
Like,
kind of. Like everyone's just gone. You're trying to piece together
Okay.
what it is and what it means.
what it means? It means they're dead. That's the end.
Well, I mean, like trying to piece together, like, was this the Rapture, or like, was this some other thing? Were there experiments going on? Like, what kind of answers is there to glean from whatever the fuck's going on?
Like every Stephen King book tells me, just shrug your shoulders and go, I'm fucking no, I'm leaving though.
Yeah,
Like
that sounds to me like a GTFO moment if I have
Like-
ever heard one.
every time there's a problem in a town where you're like, wow, everyone just mysteriously died. Okay, I'm gonna leave then. Bye. Like I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
let's let
fucking
the
hang
police
out.
or some other investigatory team that is more
No.
equipped than I am for this go take care of it.
How about you just bulldoze the town and build something new over it and just pretend it never happened?
Or that. Yeah.
History will forget about it just like that. I don't need to investigate spooky ongoings. Just keep going. Just keep living. It's fine. No, thank you. Don't want to know. Because then you end up like The Mist, where there's fucking monsters from another dimension, and
Mist.
then you go like, what do I do about that? And then people go, you don't. And you go, fuck.
Didn't they try to make a show out of
Or
that?
of course you walk into Silent Hill, you know, no
What?
big deal.
Did they try to make a show out of The Mist? It's like,
Yeah, I was really confused because like the premise is they're just like locked in a room and trying to
They're
figure out
locked
how
in
to
a
escape.
grocery store.
Yeah,
That's it.
and they
Like-
somehow made a whole show out of it. But they also made a whole show of From Dusk Till Dawn, so I don't know what the fuck. I don't know how television works anymore. I don't know how you make a show out of From Dusk Till Dawn, let alone multiple seasons.
A 10-part television series based on the film.
Because the whole gimmick is to have a fucking, like, have the first half of the movie be one thing and the second half of the movie be like, oh god, it's vampires. I don't know how you make
Also, I do remember
multiple seasons of
hearing-
TV out of that.
Apparently, they made a black and white version of the Mist movie as well. That's how you're supposed to watch it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's the brother of the bad Weinstein who made that.
Darby Weinstein.
Bob Weinstein. is
Bob
his name.
Weinstein, that's his name.
Are you sure?
It says in November 2013, Bob Weinstein revealed that he and Darren Bott were developing a 10-part television series based on the film.
Do I
Sure, let's
prefer
go
the
with that.
power type or speed exosuit more? Power's the only exosuit that matters. You only need the exosuit that lets you carry a bunch of packages. That's literally the only reason to get an exosuit.
I feel
And
like
there's the
the
time
only good
If
thing
the terrain's
about the
too
Mist-
bad, you just make zip lines, and if you need to go fast, you just drive a
Wasn't this
car.
Who made this? Wasn't it? Yeah, okay. I was gonna say the Mist is like the only thing good about the Mist is the ending. I love the ending of the Mist.
Where
The
they
guy,
actually
like-
get sense and drive the hell away.
No, where the guy fucking kills everybody but himself to live out, like to die in the horror, only for everyone to be saved. And he just fucking killed everybody else.
What an idiot.
It's like, yes, fuck you, dude. I had to watch you be an idiot for fucking 2 hours, and now you get to suffer. Like, vindication. The whole movie was basically like the worst part of a zombie horror where they're stuck in the mall and everyone's just screaming at each other for like 2 hours fucking straight about what to do. And then finally someone's like, okay, I'm gonna fucking leave and you're all gonna die. And so he leaves and everyone fucking dies. And then that's it. And you go, why do we have a movie? We could have just stopped doing this like 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And that's the problem with zombie films nowadays is they're never as good as the old stuff.
I think the
I
rain
don't
just
even know if
broke
that's
my
fine.
pants.
I watched like old zombie movies, and even still, I was like, okay, hurry up, I get it, they're bad. Like they spend like hours going, are these zombies humans though? Should we treat them this? It's, I don't fucking burn them, burn the fucking things alive, and keep moving.
Right, but
Like,
what
don't have
I
time.
mean is now it's just because of the fact that zombies are such a huge thing now, people are, and literally anybody is just making them. Is the
I
problem.
actually
There's
just
so
hate
much
the fact-
shit being thrown at the wall that
I feel like we're well beyond that curve, aren't we?
We're kind of at
I
the
don't
point
think
now
so.
where
I
zombies
feel
are
like
just
that was a decade
pointless.
ago where there was a bunch of zombie stuff.
Yeah.
There's not really much zombie stuff.
We're doing a lot more. Well, when the zombie stuff does come out, it takes reference to that.
And
era of
nowadays,
zombie movies.
Yeah.
zombie shit is weird. Like I watched The Dead Don't Die this year, which is Bill Murray and
it?
Adam Driver and Tilda Swinton, and that was just the fucking weirdest ride ever.
I don't remember that. Didn't see it.
I don't know.
Yeah, nobody saw it. It was a smaller release, but it was just a weird, quirky thing. Like it came out in 2019. It's a Bill Murray
Bill
zombie
Murray
movie.
came out in 2019.
Yeah. It's him and Adam Driver. They're like sheriff and deputy in a tiny city, and the zombies start happening and all that, and it's just a weird trip. It's just a weird trip of a movie.
Oh God!
Let's see
There's a
here.
picture of
Oh, and Steve Buscemi's in it.
there's a picture of
question
like
here.
Bill Murray and Clint Eastwood next to each other, and it's just devastating.
Do I plan on running a campaign set in the new Wildmount setting?
Old
So after this
people.
whole campaign, I'm thinking we're probably gonna throw the hat to Marty, and we'll see how that goes, because he's wanting to do a little bit of DMing as well. So I mean that would be great. I'd love to do a campaign set in Wildmount personally, because I'm a huge fan of Critical Role. So I think that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, ultimately it's up to Marty or whoever decides to DM after we're done with these guys. Plus, we're not even past second level yet, for crying out loud. Like this is it's going to be a while before this campaign is over and done with.
Yeah, and we
Yes.
still have the next campaign lined up from the same
Dragon
continuity.
Heist goes from 1 to 5, and then Dungeon of the Mad Mage goes from 5 to 20. So it's gonna be a while. Like people don't seem to realize, like, Keith is releasing chunks of like hours, an hour. The sessions so far, usually, unless we're doing it on an off day, is around like 6 or 7 hours long. So he basically gets a week's worth of videos in one sitting from just one session.
Wow.
Like, and you're still what, probably a good 4 episodes behind being fully caught up?
No. No, I upload that week's sessions as fast as I can, so people are caught up if they do come to the stream.
Gotcha. Okay. So 13, I think, was the last one that
Yeah,
you needed to upload?
every session's only like 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah. There you go. How varied have my sessions been? So I've only ever actually DM'd. This is technically my second campaign that I'm DMing. The first one was. Oop, hang on a second.
Yeah, here on stream, Andrew's the hilarious like murder room that he just left open. He just
What?
just like all these messages about targeting me, and like all the walls are covered in photos of me, and it's just really obsessive. Also, not how Yarn works. Like that's not what Yarn networks are supposed to be. It's just a bunch of pictures of Norman Reedus connected by Yarn. I'm like, that's not a mind net. This isn't a thought net. This is just noise.
I don't think you understand exactly how investigative journalism works.
No.
First step,
apparently
print
not.
a picture. Second step, buy some yarn. Third step, solve mystery.
What did I just pick up?
But-
Oh, there's a memory chip. I didn't even see that.
Continuing on with my thought. This is the second campaign I've ever actually DM'd. The first one was a completely custom world that I made for my players. So it was, they started off out in essentially an Arctic continent. And they haven't really gotten off of that continent for the first campaign that I've run. So hopefully that gives you some idea as to my experience level and setting wise.
Well, thanks. You did me a real favor.
Although did recently have a player jump into a pool of lava, so there was that.
Thank you.
Like on
10d6 fire
purpose?
damage is nasty.
I'm
Anyway,
sure he was fine.
barely.
Yeah, when I talk about like just being like, I wish he would just make games that are 15 hours or less. I think I've picked up 15 hours of narrative since after I beat the game in this playthrough. It's just endless. I just keep getting more emails and more freaking interviews forever, and it's like, I already beat the game. Like, I know how it ends. Like, I don't know how much all this can really add. But it keeps going.
All right, I gotta get going for a bit though, and I will probably be back depending on how long this session of lore writing goes. So, I'll be back.
All right.
This is a terrible session so far. You're doing a terrible job.
All right.
Actually,
One second.
I'll answer that last question before we go. The only systems that I've run specifically is D&D, 5th edition. That's all I've ever actually run. I've played Pathfinder. I played a little bit of Sin Eater, and that's about it. Anyway, all right, catch you guys later.
See ya. This is a wash. I've already been going for 2.5 hours, haven't gained a single star. That veteran porter really ruined me today. With his total lack of progress and bizarre, nonsensical gating. That's not how the rest of the game works. Just complete fucking nonsense, arcane, secret shit. I'm almost done with this game. I don't know why he's a weird exception and only him. There's no cars here, so I have to run all the way back. No. Going back on foot. It's gonna take years. And I'm all alone. Somebody help. Yeah, for those of you at home, here's my progress so far. It's the wrong menu. Bridge links. There we go. 5 star, 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 4 star, 5 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 star, 1 star, 5 star, 5 star, 4 star, 5 star, 5 star, 4 stars, 2 stars, 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, 4 star, 5 star, 4 star, 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, 5 star, 2 star, 4 star. Like I'm so far for so much of the game. I'm on the final stretch. I do think there's still one more new character I haven't met yet.
Fuck. Why? I really hate this.
I feel so stranded without a car. They get around. They get me around so quickly.
Speaking of, I actually woke up today.
I had to walk all the way here.
My car battery died today.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I got hit into traffic and then kidnapped again.
Oh God, no! If that happened twice, I'd give up cars. I just get something else.
For those that don't know, once upon a time, somebody crashed into Andrew's car in the middle of the night, which knocked it into the middle of traffic, which got it towed. So, from his perspective, he thought his car just got stolen.
All I saw was cracked glass on the ground.
There just wasn't a car. Yeah.
And the only reason I was notified my car had even gotten taken was because I happened to, a cop happened to be by, and I went to ask him about who I should call to report a robbery for my car.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, hey, your car got towed last night." And I was like, "Thanks for notifying me." And he's like, "We tried knocking on your door, but you didn't wake up." And I was like, yeah, it was the middle of the fucking night when people were asleep. Like, what the fuck?
They didn't leave a note?
No, they left no note. They left
what
nothing.
the fuck? They got like a whole pad. I know, I've seen it.
No, that pad is only for when you're a bad boy, not for when you're good.
I mean, from their perspective, you were a bad boy. Your car got towed.
No, I was perfectly in the legal right to park my car where the fuck I parked it. The problem is that somebody didn't do their job in ensuring this guy wasn't too drunk to drive.
No, I'm saying from their perspective, you were in trouble because your car got towed, and they didn't necessarily know the context.
Well, they also didn't have to tow it. They could have just put it back.
Yeah, but then they don't make towing money.
No, the reason they towed it was because I had just
get that tow profit.
Literally a fucking week prior, I had just gotten into a full head-on collision with a trailer and ruined my entire front of my car.
Yeah.
So from the cop's perspective,
that was the one where you're driving at night and somebody had an empty trailer with nothing on it that also wasn't labeled or lit.
And so I ran.
So you just hit an invisible trailer and almost totaled your car.
Yeah, and so the front of my car looked like shit. It looked destroyed. The back of my car, even after the guy rammed it, was a-okay, but the cops thought that the damage that he did was to the front. And so it looked like he just totaled my car. And so they towed it thinking it was totaled. They didn't even try and see if it worked. They didn't even try like moving it or having a person break into it and turn it on. They thought it was totaled. They brought it there. When I went to go pick it up, the guy even told me, he's like, "Oh, it's going to cost you like $100 extra because I need to tow the car back to your place." I was like, "What the fuck? Why?" And he's like, "Because your car's totaled." I was like, "My fucking car's totaled?" It's like, how the fuck did a rear end total my car? And when I went out there, he's like, "Look, the fucking..." I was like, "Oh, this thing's fine. I just pulled the bumper and tucked it inside next to the engine. And then I got into my car and then turned it on and drove it off the fucking lot." And the guy's just like, "Well, fuck me then." Like, he's like, "Okay, well." It was great. Also, fun fact, I literally did no crime. I committed 0 crimes in this entire event. I had to pay $150 to get my car out of the fucking lot.
That's less cost than I was expecting. I guess you still have to deal with either replacing or fixing your
yeah,
car.
that doesn't count for my
Yeah.
insurance covering
I
my
was
car.
gonna say, like, this whole story ending with $150 almost seems small.
No, this story ended with me having to get the car completely remodeled.
Yeah.
Because due to the collision in the back, my company was like, look, we're gonna be real with you. The front is completely smashed. Your back is completely fucked up. You're taking the whole car in. Like,
Now you're taking revenge via tickets.
I must admit something. I have to stop doing my scam.
Because you have to renew your license.
I have to renew my license. And I'm really upset. I genuinely am like heartbroken because I actually thought I was going to raise enough fines to be equal to the amount of money I borrowed to go to college. Just to point out how fucking ridiculous this system is. Pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty close. But
This could have been you.
yeah, I actually went into the I actually just went and got my license renewed. And when I was there, I was triple, quadruple making sure check like, okay, you're giving me a new driver license number now. And they're like, yeah. It's like, okay, like it won't be the old one. It's like, I don't want to pay these tickets.
This could have
like,
really
yes.
backfired so bad.
That could have backfired real bad.
That was pretty illegal.
But it didn't, and now everything's okay. So, and the second question I asked was I walked over and I actually went to a DMV that wasn't my hometown DMV. So it's the first time I've been to a DMV that wasn't my hometown one. So it looked different and fancier because Vacaville's look like shit. It clearly hasn't gotten money in the past 20 years. And what's it called? They had this like fancy camera, and I was like, oh man, does it have like Snapchat filters? Like, can I do like dog ears or something on me? And they're like, no. No, you cannot.
Can you have a Snapchat filter on your license photo?
It looked literally like a really big webcam or phone. It looked like a big phone with a camera attached to it.
I still need to update most of my photos. Like all of my ID photos are from like a decade ago, and they just barely look like me.
I'm actually glad. Yeah, I'm glad to update mine because I look like a predator in my old one, and that needed to stop. It did not do me favors when cops pulled me over because I look like I was it looks like a fucking mugshot. So it's
I think we were joking. I think we were joking before that all of Stephanie's ID photos make her look like she's like some woman you'd find in Vegas.
Oh my god, I could see that.
Yeah. Or like a feather boa.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
This fucking highway is absurd. Just floating. And it zigzags so hard.
Ziggity zaggity.
Ziggity zaggity. I've gotten really reckless at driving in this game because I learned that you can't flip your car.
So my battery is dead today. So I woke up, car battery dead. I have to call my work, first of all, and go, hey guys, not coming to work today. No car. Secondly, I had to figure out how close I was to literally anything. So like I don't know where the nearest car store, like O'Reilly's auto part car is. I don't know where like I don't know a lot of things. I don't know if I have the tools to replace my own battery. I don't know if it's my battery and maybe it's my alternator. Car's 10 years old, could be dead. What's it called? Shit, what was the other thing I had to do? Oh, I had to figure out how I was going to transport a new battery back home. Like, was I going to go to the store, buy a battery and carry it? Or was I going to do an Uber? And how much would an Uber cost? Like, is it, like, am I going to pay like 15 to 20 bucks to have someone drive me from one side of town to the other side of town? Like, fine, I'll take a bus, I'll walk, it was stupid. Like in my old house before, I was less than like a 5-minute walk to pretty much everything I needed.
If you were willing to walk cross like a 6-lane road.
Yeah, not even.
I was thinking of the food.
Oh, for food, yeah, for food.
time we almost got our asses run over.
Yeah.
So that we could eat food you're not even supposed to eat because of your several dietary restrictions.
It's fine. I somehow.
These are on my don't eat list, and then I just eat them anyway.
Look, if I
fuck the
don't,
police.
If I don't, I'll be sad because I won't eat food I like. But that's a joke. I don't like any food.
Wah wah.
Wah wah. Actually, I am gonna order pizza tonight, though, even though it hurts every fucking time.
Why?
I don't know, man. Pizza's the one thing. You know what? I've done a lot better. I will admit, I've done so good. I've been getting super fucking good at making pasta. I eat a lot more. I put down a lot less dairy in my diet. I've replaced a lot of my milk with like oat milk and shit like that. I'm doing really good, but pizza's the one fucking thing. I have to keep it. I don't know. It's a specific type of food that is both comforting and also satisfying. So it feels good to eat pizza.
I mean, I like pizza. It's like the mega variety food because it has like 10 toppings on it.
It's a thing that like unless I've literally just had it like 5 minutes ago, it's very rare someone can ask, "What about pizza?" and I go, "I'm not feeling like pizza."
Like in my case, I'm like, yeah, pizza's great. I'd like to have it. The only thing is that it has like logistical complications because it's generally a thing that's prepared in a size that's meant for multiple people.
Pizza is not.
It's like it's more of a party food, like a group food thing. I mean, party as in like a RPG party, not like this is a party we're having right now. Like there has to be a group. But like, yeah, let's have excuses to have pizza. Because yeah, it's a problem if I get myself a pizza. So I just get a pizza. It's like this is like 5 meals, and it'll go in my fridge. I'll microwave like a few slices at a time, and have it over the course of days. But digestion wise, my body will pay the price because that is just too much cheese over the course of days as being my only meals, and like it just causes problems. It's just not like pizza. If I just have pizza once in a vacuum, it's fine. But if I order a whole pizza and it's just for me and I'm slowly working through it for days, it's like, it's disruptive.
It's disruptive.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I know people who will just buy like a large pizza and eat the entire thing. I'm like, what are you? What the fuck are you?
Wait, you normally don't do that?
No. Will they just eat the whole thing in one sitting?
That's what I do.
This is like, geez, okay. I mean, I guess that's good for you because you have trouble eating anything. So if pizza does that for you, I guess that's good news on some level. I am full after like 2 slices, and I'm like,
really?
I'm done. Yeah, pizza's filling.
Fuck.
It's like entirely carbs and cheese. I don't know how the fuck people aren't full when they eat like 2 slices. And I like myself like a chicken ranch pizza or whatever.
You're fucking right. It is just nothing. It is just full of fucking filler.
I mean, it's food, but yeah, it's food that fills you specifically.
Yeah.
It's not salad.
Why can I eat a whole fucking pizza?
I don't know. You unlock the code. You need to find pizza-like objects that you'll eat so that you can like figure out stuff that you actually like eating.
Do I just choose so well that it condenses all of it into just the right size?
Maybe I don't think that's not how food works.
Sure it is.
If you crunch it up, food works.
If you grind something up enough, it turns to powder. Maybe my jaw.
That doesn't make it not fiber or whatever other things it is, and carbs. You can't chew the carbs out of pizza.
Watch me. I will change the molecular structure.
But no, everywhere I've ever lived has been very close to a mountain Mike's, and that has been convenient for me.
Everywhere I've lived has been close to a Pizza Guys.
I don't even know what Pizza Guys is.
fucking absurd.
I've just grown up on a round table and mountain mics, and I can recognize that round table's not great, so I go to mountain mics. Round tables where you
is
had
not great to me either. Do
round
you really
tables
like
where you
mountain
had
mics?
round tables where you had your like person summarizing moment, where everyone looked over and you're just
Oh,
beating
for
on
your
you're just beating on a vending machine and shaking, and you're like, yep, that's about right. Yeah, mountain mics is pretty all right. Round table's pretty garbage.
Round table is very garbage.
Yeah. Do you not?
You know where it's
are
not garbage?
Are you not experienced with mountain mics?
I do have experience, and that's why
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't think it's that bad. I feel like mountain mics isn't that good of quality.
It's all right.
I like scenarios. Scenarios is good.
You're making up pizza places.
No, the fuck I'm not.
Nobody
Dude, there's
would.
so many.
Nobody would make a pizza place and call it scenarios. Check out my hot new pizza
You-
place. I called it Beavertown.
You
Like,
motherfucker.
just saying random words that have nothing to do with pizza now. It didn't even call it Tony's. That'd be a great name for pizza place. Welcome to Tony's Scenarios.
You. Wow. It's just not great. Bagam. There you go, sir.
Domino's is garbage. How dare you bring that up, chat?
Family owned.
Literally
family,
everyone knows better than to eat at Domino's. That's
family
like the
owned
worst option.
Since 1986.
If you're gonna eat garbage, at least get Little Caesars for being cheap.
Oh.
Don't overpay for your garbage.
Hey,
which is what
pro tip,
Domino's
though,
is.
If y'all ordering from Pizza Hut, make sure and get the app. The app will earn you some free
Don't go to Pizza Hut either.
I've said don't go to
Definitely do not go to Domino's. Do not go to
Pizza Hut.
Round Table. Do not go to Pizza Hut. Literally, every other option's a better option.
So I would recommend.
Those are all garbage tier, and you might as well just have Little Caesars.
I would honestly recommend Pizza Guys, or if okay. So if you're in Vacaville,
Hell,
I
you
would
might as well
recommend.
just fucking buy a Red Baron
Okay, wait. So you're talking about Domino's, right?
instead of going to Domino's and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If you don't, okay. If you want
better off,
something,
you're better off buying a fucking Red Baron pizza than going to those places.
Fuck. You know what upsets me about fucking Red Baron pizzas? Red Baron pizzas are literally someone took fucking Lunchables and just put it in the oven. Like, that's what the fucking Red Baron pizzas are. They're so minimal. There's
Yeah.
nothing to them. Like, fuck those things. Those things are nothing food. Literally. It's 100%. Like, everything you eat turns into 100% of the turd you take later that night. None of it gets saved. Your body doesn't even want a millimeter of it.
By
It
the
just
way, I've been delivering a
paints
pizza
it
this whole
brown.
time.
What?
I was delivering a pizza this whole conversation.
I know.
I don't remember if that even started the conversation or if we just were talking about pizza coincidentally.
We were
and
just
then
talking about pizza
also,
coincidentally.
I'm delivering a pizza.
We were talking about
That's
food,
really
and
funny.
we got on the topic of pizza because I said I'm gonna get pizza because that's the one food I can't give up.
Good work.
And thank you for reminding me. So now I need to order my pizza.
Domino's got shut down over here. Health department gave them too many fines. That's about right.
What? Wait, what?
That's about right.
Who said? Oh, where you are? Oh man, did you? Okay, so do you, Papa John's.
Papa John's.
So Joe.
Papa John's.
Joe.
How's he doing?
Joe
He's still alive?
The Joe we know, he's good. He was in town during Christmas for a brief stint. Him and his girlfriend, and they were good. They're just living their best lives in Japan.
Damn.
That sounds fun. But Joe that we know, he used to work at that Papa John's. That used to be right next to my house, where the smoke shop is actually. Or not next to the smoke shop. So it used to be next to this smoke shop that now is a Mexican bakery. Yeah, I think it's a Mexican bakery. And what was I saying? Right. So at that Papa John's, the owner of that, the franchise owner for Vacaville, he stole money. He swindled, like he was like cutting money out from on the side of profits, and one day he reached a certain limit, and they actually finally figured out that he was doing that, and he just booked it. He just left. And so, and so no one was owning the franchise, which meant that no one had access to like the bank account, because they froze the bank, obviously, and so no one was sure if they were going to get paid or not. So no one was sure if like they came to work or not. And so Joe said he like literally came into work one day, and his brother actually was the manager behind was the store manager for that store.
Oh, his sibling also worked there?
Yeah. And so he said he came into work one day. So he was working, like him and his other coworkers were working a regular shift. They were doing all their stuff. And he was waiting for an order because he was a delivery person. And the what's it called? And his brother comes in and just like bursts through the door, and he goes, "Throw everything away." And it's like, what? And they had to throw everything in the store away, like all the ingredients, the food, everything had to go in the fucking dumpster. They had to clean it all out, and then the very next day, the company, like the franchise, came by and just sold all the stuff and rented out the building. Just cleaned it all up, packed it all up, and no notice, no nothing. Just so Joe is actually owed one paycheck from that place still,
and he'll never get it.
And he'll never get it, dude. He will literally left the country. He will never get it. And you know, and my favorite thing about it all is Papa John's ain't even that good at pizza.
No.
It ain't
really
even
not
that good at pizza. I wasn't even sad when it closed. I was like,
no.
Good. Maybe someone better will take your place. Bye, Papa.
That's one of those capitalism as intended moments. One of the rare cases where we're like, yeah, that's about how it's supposed to work.
That's what you get.
Oh no, the garbage place died because there's 50 better options. Okay. Oh no, how will I find pizza in America without Papa John's, the place I've never gone to because it's bad.
It was not great. At least it's not like Papa Murphy's.
It's not nearly as bad as fucking Subway surviving while Quiznos dies.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
That's fucked up. Subway's some real garbage. I will say this: a place in this town, there's a Panda I go to, and next to it's a Subway.
God damn it.
And it's really funny seeing how it's just a dead building. It's just a dead building. Like people are fucking just in line out the door at the Panda, and there's no one in the Subway. And they're just right next to each other. And like
tell me how it's
one of them is a significantly better dinner option than the other. Like why do you want a shitty Subway sandwich given the local options? It's like it's just such a waste.
A private company. Damn it.
I try and check its stocks or something.
Yeah, let's just see how it's doing, because that sounds like, now that you say that, I don't remember a single time when I've heard someone like, let's get Subway. Like,
not a great chance. Not a great. Yeah. No.
Subway always has deals. Oh, you know what? Maybe we're being fucking.
Subway always has deals.
Maybe we're being privileged here. Maybe it's a. No, you don't think so?
Subway is not cheap food. There are many better cheap options. Having deals is a fucking self-defined game. I made all the
self-defined.
Yeah, deals are nonsense.
Marxist over here.
No, I'm saying like deals are bullshit. Deals are whatever. They fucking write all the rules to the game, and then they're like, "See, we're winning. We have deals." It's like, yeah, but you made the prices in the first place, which are always bullshit. And also, basically, Subway also advertises itself as basically always being on discount all the time for everything, and it's like, no, that's just the price. That's just the real price of the product. It's just nonsense. The only way you make one thing like, wow, I'll upgrade it to a footlong for like, oh, only this much money. It's so cheap. You only do that by overcharging for the smaller one.
Yeah.
It's like a smoothie place I've been to that has a $6. You get a 16-ounce smoothie for $6 or a 24-ounce smoothie for $7. It's like, it's not a deal to upgrade to the large one. It's just they overcharge for the small one. It's just they fucking make the whole economy of the numbers. Like they define everything.
People don't really see.
But like Subway is
People
not.
don't really like to talk about.
There's a lot of
how
cheaper
that
options than
works.
Subway.
Like the value of anything could be questioned, really. Like people say that money.
Subway is not good, and yes, it is expensive, chat. Fucking Quiznos and Togos are so much better than Subway in every possible way.
Quiznos is way better.
Yeah, Quiznos and Togos are just straight up, like,
Never
objectively
eaten Togos.
better.
Where the fuck is your Togos?
We've been going to Togos. I don't know where they are. Where you are.
There's one in town.
Back in Vacaville, there was one by the Sprint store in the Starbucks.
True to the sandwich since 1971.
I've gone to one a couple times with Stephanie here, and it's like, it's just so much fucking better. It feels like a real sandwich, and not the weird thing that Subway has slowly tricked you into thinking a sandwich is.
Oh, there is one. Yeah. On Main Street. Ooh.
There's like a weird element where Subway feels like, what is it, like the Taco Bell of sandwiches, where it's like a weird alternate definition of sandwich that's shittier. And if you just exist in that ecosystem long enough, you forget what sandwiches are supposed to be like, the way that you forget what Mexican food's supposed to be like.
Oh shit! Do I have? Google Photos. Oh shit. Dubai.
You have to eat a Subway because you need to lose weight. You probably don't want to eat a Subway then.
Yeah. What?
Subway's not going to help
just
you lose
full of
weight.
Garbage.
Yeah, don't believe Jared. He's a pedophile.
Well, I mean.
But like that entire
I want to put into context that doctors who have real medical advice can be pedophiles. So do not think that people who say logical things but are pedophiles cannot exist.
Subway is not a fucking weight loss strategy.
No,
that was a false that was a false fucking marketing strategy that they invented.
Absolutely.
And he had fucking like a personal trainer and like aids and so on that perfectly like set him up to like he had the movie star experience. Jared went through the whole movie star experience where like he's like, I'm Chris Evans and I need to be the next Captain America, so all these very expensive people are going to manage my life so that I get into perfect shape for this movie. That's what Jared went through. Like that's and then it's had a ripple effect for like years and years of people thinking that Subway makes you lose weight, and Scott Pilgrim was unable to save us with its, because Scott Pilgrim warned you and none of you listened. Bread makes you fat? It's like, oh, I'll eat this thing that's almost entirely bread. That'll make me lose weight.
I mean, it doesn't make you lose weight.
Sandwich places are not a weight loss strategy. It's
No,
not.
I
It's not
remember I
gonna
used
work.
to-
It's
I-
not gonna
I
work
used
for
to
you,
eat-
buddy.
I used to eat like only rolls.
You're being overcharged for unhealthy food that they just trick you into thinking it's healthy by saying eat fresh. Just like how
Yeah.
fucking vitamin water just tricks people to thinking that it's healthy for them because it's called vitamin water, but it's basically
It's
a
just-
soda. It's like a 200 calorie drink. It's just sugar
Yeah.
water that they call vitamin water. It's backed by some asshole like NBA player or something that's just profiting off of ignorance. And they're like, it's vitamin water. It's like the sugariest drink ever, but it doesn't taste that good, so people think it's healthy. It's like a fucking like failed on all
God.
accounts product because it
Holy
tastes like
shit.
garbage, but it's super full of sugar anyway and full of so many calories. But it tastes
Holy
like
fuck.
garbage because
That's
it's supposed to
really-
because it's trying to advertise itself as a health drink.
That's phenomenally impressive.
Yeah, that's
you
that-
create something
Vitamin
that's
water
so
is a
shit,
nightmare product.
but you can't make it better. Like you have nothing. You have no way of making this better. So what do? You call it vitamin water. Of course it tastes like shit. It's a vitamin water. Do you think vitamins would taste good? No. And you're like, oh, of course it's vitamin water. And your brain just goes placebo effect. Yeah, of course, because it's healthy for you. And now all of a sudden you have this mind worm. And your fucking
This
idiotic
mind
brain
worm.
is like sitting there, eating
Oh, this lady gave me a raccoon hologram.
That is terrifying.
I love it.
Just gives you like a possum one. You're like, oh, great, thanks. I want to kill it.
I'm certain that it will be of use to you in your
If
journey.
vitamin water has no reason to exist besides to make one guy money by basically lying to people. It's not a good it's
so
it's
you
not
mean
it's
a
not
product.
it's not a drink that feels good to drink, and it's also not a health drink. It's just a lie. It's just entirely lies, like homeopathy.
Limits are the ones we impose upon
Like
ourselves.
homeopathy.
Well, like homo-apathy, am I right?
That's not a wow. Wow, that was like a right-winged boomer meme. Like holy shit.
No, but those are the people that are more likely to believe that shit in the first place.
Why? They have Google. They could fucking Google it.
That homeopathy
damn,
is
dude.
nightmare bullshit.
How do people with access to the fucking world get duped into stupid shit like that? Fucking
No, of course you don't have
Even
vitamin
s-
water in Germany. You have eine Mineralwasser mit
Like-
Eisentone.
is
Fucking phrase I
vitamin
drilled into
water
my brain
healthy?
from German class. Eine Mineralwasser mit Eisentone. A real order that people make. Yes, I would like a mineral water with ice and lemon.
All right.
This is a real
so-
sentence that I speak on purpose. Sweet front flip, bro.
So vitamin water contains just as much sugar, it has about 50% less.
I forgot to bring a
Sugar.
PCC. Shit.
Oh wait, countries? Wait, this product sucks different from country to country?
What a
So
sentence.
hear this. So 120-ounce bottle of vitamin water normally contains 120 calories and 23 grams of sugar, about 50% less than a regular Coke. However, the type of sugar used varies between countries. So, crystalline fructose, which is worse for your health as it's almost pure fructose, over 98%. On the other hand, is sucrose, is half glucose and half fructose. Closer look reveals that bottle of vitamin water in the US may harbor the same amount of fructose as a bottle of regular Coke. Which is great.
It's the
Congratulations.
final pizza. Ba-da-doo-doo. Ba-da-doo-doo-doo. Ba-da-doo-doo. Ba-da-doo-doo-doo-doo.
But in any case, you could just check the internet. The internet will usually tell you something is healthy for you or not. Like, is hot chocolate good to drink every day for every meal? I mean, it's only got 24 grams of sugar. And
I feel like the portion size of hot chocolate might vary greatly from example to example.
it says 1 cup or 250 grams. So that's a measurement you can put on paper.
You also have to be careful with the serving sizes of anything that's like, here's a powder you mix in your thing or whatever, because it's like, yeah, but is that actually the portion size that you're mixing in? Is that a normal size that normal people would use, or is it like 1 spoonful is 3 servings? Sometimes that gets
depends.
really iffy.
Damn it! I thought I had
I'm
a
not
photo.
making it down this mountain this way. But I can try!
Oh, was it? Wait, was it in? No.
Is there a paraglider in this game?
Damn, I really thought.
How is this gonna work?
Oh yeah. Guys, I keep. Who the fuck is Michael Fay?
I'm gonna die today. I'm
Oh, he's
gonna
the owner
die
of
today.
Subway. Wait, what?
Everyone's gonna
Oh,
see.
Here
I'm
we
gonna
are.
Die today.
This one. That's the
Everybody's
one. I'm
gonna
looking
die,
for.
die. Everybody's gonna die. I'm trying to walk my way down an entire mountain on foot while carrying the final pizza.
How's it going for you? Is it fun?
I mean, there's a good chance I'll die. I tend to die in these situations.
You know what? Regarding pizza, what is better? Cup pepperoni, or just flat pepperoni?
Oh, like grease cups?
Yeah.
I ordered chicken pizza. Yeah.
Wait a second. They're selling heart-shaped pizzas?
I don't really order pepperoni pizzas anymore. It's either I either get Hawaiian or I get chicken,
Wait, do they cut it for you?
and neither of those feature pepperoni.
Dude, I want a heart-shaped
Hawaiian
pizza.
pizza is fucking good.
Wait, how much does it cost compared to a regular pizza?
I believed people based on like the reputation for the longest time. I never tried it, but I tried it at like a Reef's homecoming party or home warming party once, and I was like, oh fuck, pineapple's amazing. Now whenever I have options to order like pineapple with meat in any situation, I try it out.
No.
I love it.
No.
Yeah.
Pineapple's not good.
Oh man. I had like a I think it was salmon teriyaki with pineapple at some place. I'm like, yes. This is the best idea. Teriyaki fish with pineapple is so good.
Oh god.
I'm leaning towards fish a lot too.
I just read a news article.
I don't really eat red meat unless it's bacon.
Just read a news article that researchers in Israel have resurrected a tree from 2,000 years ago. So, and it's a fruit-bearing tree. So they managed to. I actually don't. Sorry, I don't know what the science here is. Horticulture. So somehow managed to resurrect a thought extinct plant. Cool. But they're excited to taste the fruit from it because it will be like the original date fruit from like 2,000 years ago. And I don't think they understand that food back in the day tasted like shit.
Oh yeah, no, we tricked every fruit into being good.
Everything tasted so bad, guys. It was real bad. Like
Yeah,
people
forget that like corn and like bananas and shit like
Oh
aren't
my
naturally
God.
occurring.
No.
Like the stuff we think of
No.
as vegetables and fruit basically didn't exist before us in a lot of cases. Not in the way that you would think.
How do they pollinate it? Let's see.
GMOs are good. GMOs are everything you've ever eaten.
It's also kind of dangerous. I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're like. I don't think it's gonna cause cancer, but I don't like the idea of a corporation having control of what constitutes food.
Yeah, but they do.
Yeah, but there's some level of I don't know how to explain this, but there's like some level of comfort I have in being able to grow something and know it's not like, you know.
I just get annoyed by people like ignorantly, automatically freaking out about a concept. Like when they hear about that, like it's like when they hear that something has chemicals in it. It's like
yeah, it's not like fucking
it's like,
Soylent Green,
it's like
guys.
when people
It's
are
not
fun.
like,
It's like I don't want organisms that have been modified. I only want natural foods. And it's like it's a fundamental misunderstanding of what natural and modified mean. Just like when people are like, I don't want that, it has chemicals in it. It's like, what do you think chemicals are? It's like
chemicals
oftentimes
are just natural or things you find put
There's
together.
definitely
to
elements
create
of just like
something.
ignorance born entirely, or fears born entirely of ignorance of people just fundamentally not knowing what words mean.
Well, okay,
But then,
so
we have like the whole thing we watched Food Inc. and stuff like that, where it's like the fucking like corporate hitmen coming out to get you because like they're special, like
Yeah, you didn't return their corn seeds in time.
well, it's like
and they're not gonna grow no corn seeds unless you license those corn seeds.
They're
mister.
special patented GMO corn cross-pollinated
came
into
by,
your field without you even wanting it to be there in the first place, and now they're like suing you for growing their corn because it infiltrated theirs. Like that whole thing's a fucking weird nightmare mess. But that's
the
kind of a
idea
different
that
conversation.
A farmer is like sitting here having a good ass time farming somehow, and some jackass opens a fucking GMO farm next door, and they blow over and get into his, and someone comes like, okay, all your farm's mine now. It's like, what the fuck? Like, you're like, excuse me, what? And you can't. What are you gonna do? The farmer has no. You're screwed. Farmer's like going to be screwed in that case unless he has enough money to defend himself.
Yeah.
A company will beat your ass. Trust me. A company will push so fucking hard to like make, and they'll push hard to make their corn the default. Like any other corn just isn't FDA approved. And isn't
Monoculture.
acceptable. Yeah, it's not.
And because they have all
like,
the power and all the capital, they can write the rules. They can literally change the laws to be in their favor.
That's the thing. That's why I don't like GMO in that sense. I don't think GMO is a threat to my health. I think GMO is just an uncomfortable position of power to give a company that I literally already don't trust. Like,
It's the capitalism aspect as opposed to like just the blind fear of like, what? A modified organism?
No.
Unlike
Look.
all of other farming.
if capitalism didn't exist, I would tell you straight up, GMOs, if you don't want GMOs, you might as well fucking die. Because holy shit, being able to create a plant that is perfectly immune to all of the things that make it a fucking chore to grow living life forms on any fucking surface would be greatly appreciated. Hunger, not really a problem when no climate doesn't suck to grow in. Like, there are things that GMOs could be such a fucking blessing for, but like, then you think, oh no, but the cancer, you're all gonna fucking die eventually. And let me tell you what, we could either cure cancer or we can not do anything. Ever. No progress in any category. We just never, we keep going this way. We don't change our food, we don't change our medicine, we don't change like how clothes are made. Everything has to stay the fucking same. No, you improve. Food is a thing like that. Just like we were talking about with food tasting like shit in the beginning. Like bananas were shit in the beginning. Bananas had seeds.
Would you like to go back to maize?
Do you want to go back to
Do you want
fucking
to eat
potatoes?
maize?
Because that was the most delicious fucking shit. If you were poor, potatoes,
They're not
So
gone.
good.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying back
What are you
then
saying
when
right
you
now?
I'm saying back in the day, unless you were like really rich, most of the food that you could afford to eat was bland as fuck. It was like bread, watered down soup-ish thing, and potatoes. But potatoes you can actually kind of do stuff with. Like potatoes, yeah. Soup is only so much. Like there's only so much you could do with soup. And if you were lucky enough to afford meat, then you could obviously do something with that. But potatoes, you could do a lot with potatoes.
Concern.
What?
I'm just like, how do I get across this river? I think I might get in trouble if the pizza goes in the water. But I can't carry it.
You don't like
but
your
I can't
pizza
carry. I can't carry a pizza horizontally. Only the cart can.
Can you put it on top, like flat on top of you?
I just can't carry a pizza horizontally. Norman Reedus is an idiot.
No, I mean like on your backpack though. Can you put it on your backpack flat?
Nah. When you load on your backpack, it loads vertically for some reason.
What? What?
Yeah.
Oh, he puts it on like one of the sides.
No, he just puts it flat on your back like a book in a backpack.
Oh. That's unfortunate.
YOLO. Maybe the pack. Oh, cool. The carrier just stays on top of water. Okay, I'm good then.
now.
The carrier just floats on top of water.
Like
This
it's
was a
clever.
non-issue.
Actually, a lot of a good place for GMOs is marijuana. A lot of people are working to make special marijuana GMO seeds, so that way it's not a pain in the shit to grow weed. Because now that it's legalized in a good deal of the states in the U.S., it needs to be able to grow faster, and it normally doesn't grow very good. But weeds also changed a lot because of genetic engineering.
Yep. I was talking
Same with
about
tobacco.
that the other day
Tobacco's
with
definitely
Bird,
more-
that like I looked at Nature Box again because I used to have a subscription to that back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
day. And like if you look at it now, they got rid of the subscription service entirely now, and almost their entire front page is them just advertising like weed byproduct items.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're like, this isn't the part that gets you high, it's this other thing with something health benefits or whatever, and it's like super expensive items. If you look at the Nature Box, it's all these
Holy
it's all these really
shit.
expensive a la carte items now.
Oh, CBD chews?
Yeah, it's that
Fuck.
stuff.
Oh my god.
I'm like,
this
I
is hilarious.
just wanted to resubscribe to my honey sesame sticks and stuff.
No, the era of box subscriptions is gone.
Yeah,
They died.
I liked that was the one I liked though. I just liked having a bunch of like items come in the mail and be like, oh, these are
Yeah.
all nice. I like these.
It was
I would
kinda
like to
nice.
eat these. I didn't like
They
any
do
of the
it- wait, you
weird.
can
I didn't
still
like any of the
do-
weird product ones where it's like, here's our box of garbage from a clearance sale that we're pretending is a special deal. Is always like that fucking all that fucking like loot box garbage was always like I'm pretty sure it was just all overproduced stuff that didn't sell properly being rebundled as like a themed box and being massively overcharged when it was basically like the kind of shit you'd find at like a dollar store because they couldn't sell it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like nothing about that seemed like it was worth it. Not to mention it's like, would you like generic nerd items? You're a nerd, right? Which is a fucking like monotheistic concept and everyone likes the same things in all of nerddom, right? So here you go. Here's our monthly fucking nerd themed shit. It's like, here's your fucking Walking Dead box. Here's your Evangelion box. Hope you like both of those things because you paid for it, asshole.
Hey, are you technically registered as a business?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think it works
Okay.
quite like that.
So I was gonna say, actually,
I'm not
Nature
one-
Box has
I'm not
a
100% sure where I'm registered as at this point. No,
They do
I
have a
don't.
monthly-
I mean, I don't have like a business license if that's what you mean.
I don't think it's a business license.
I pay personal estimated taxes.
It's still an employee of one. I was gonna say they have a Nature Box has a snack
Oh,
subscription, but for businesses.
Do Uber
So if you're a
drivers
business,
register
you-
as a business? Because that's what YouTubers are.
No, they're independent contractors.
Yeah, I'm an independent contractor too. Then
Ooh.
that's what a YouTuber is, or a Twitch streamer. They're basically Uber drivers. There's just a weird
But for
service
TV.
that we join, but we're an employee, but we're not an employee because nobody actually met us or hired us. But they pay us, and we're their entire business. It must be nice how these companies figured out how to get by without having to have real employees. You just
I mean,
monetize the public, essentially.
Keith, do you not remember?
Do you remember? Do.
What is it?
You were subscribing to that fucking loot crate
Yeah.
thing. You just had a bunch of garbage coming in for stuff you didn't even watch.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you had a Negan shirt.
Yeah. I like the pins. They gave you metal pins, and I kind of wish I could just keep that portion of the subscription.
You had that one nightmare counter that was just full of tiny figurines that were just random nonsense.
Yeah, I have in my apartment. I have this little shelf above there's a built-in shelf that they put above a desk that they built into the into like the bedroom for some reason. And so I put all of my figurines and stuff in that shelf, and then I put all my stuffed animals and stuff on top of it. So I still have it. It's just in my room now, rather than out publicly.
I've
Mostly
kept
'cause I
my
have a lot
figurine
more.
collection very small still.
Well, I also I still have all the dumb little knickknacks, but I also have a lot more anime figurines now. So
Yeah.
I kind of just don't.
I had that
those.
one Banner Saga thing that came in the mail from that Loot Crate there was like that company that would make special editions. They
Indie
made
box.
yeah, Indie Box. They made collector's editions for digital games,
Yeah.
which is a weird specific thing to do. I literally, I was like, oh, they just gave this to me in a box. They didn't say I had to actually say they were good or anything. I don't know. I'm not sure what the market is for this product. And then like 2 indie boxes later, they're out of business. So I still have that figurine of the Varl from Banner Saga. It's like a weird chew toy texture. It's like all rubbery and squishy. It's weird.
Yeah.
Then I've got a Rocket Raccoon pop figure I was given for Christmas like 2 years ago because somebody heard me talk about Guardians of the Galaxy in a positive light, so they got me a figurine of it, and I'm like, all right, well, it's a gift. I gotta keep it forever now. So I still have it, even though I don't like pop figures.
Jesus.
But I do like Rocket Raccoon. But the only figure I bought
yeah, I was
is
gonna say, at least they got you a pretty okay character.
Yeah, at least it wasn't some nonsense. It's Rocket, which is a great character.
Yeah.
But no, my only action figure I've ever bought is I have a Gambit. I have a Gambit figure with like the OG like purple breastplate armor and the trench coat and everything.
Oh, do they have Oh, damn! I should check.
I like Gambit as a character. He's neato. He's the reason. Gambit's the reason why for so long I always wanted to have a staff or a spear in like every game. Because he made having that like that metal staff look cool. I just got my star from Higgs. This doesn't even make sense. He's the villain. Whatever.
Yeah, they do.
Ta-da!
Okay. Is it really? Perfect.
Well, now I'm feeling a little better. Now I've got like 3 stars today instead of 0. Got the Spiritualist, the Mountaineer, and Higgs. I spent the first 2 hours trying to get the Veteran, and I don't know what the fuck he wants from me. It's so hard to get progress there. What's my reason for Chain Lightning? Chain Lightning is just cool. And it's in like every RPG. First saw it in probably like Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 on the Xbox and like Diablo 2 or something. I just like Chain Lightning, it's just cool. You shoot a lightning bolt and then it bounces between all your enemies. It's efficient, it's very useful.
I mean,
it's inherently just a good design for a spell. It's like, this is very helpful. It'll specifically, I hit one guy and then it targets several other guys all on its own while being lightning. But I was also partial to lightning early on because the first booster pack I ever bought of Pokemon ever had a Zapdos in it. Which is a very rare card, and I traded it not knowing that.
oh.
I traded it for a Gyarados, which is a cooler Pokemon, but a much more common card. Because Gyarados was literally in the first deck they gave out. This is the water deck that had Gyarados in it. It was like the first like starter deck they had available where you could buy a whole deck at once.
Yeah.
So like it was not even vaguely rare. But I got rid of an incredibly rare card for a very common card. I think Stephanie has like every Pokemon card like basically ever. She has a binder of like just cards for days, including like she has like knockoff cards and she has limited edition cards and like Nightmare Foily Super Collector Wacko looking crazy cards, and like she has alternate prints of certain cards. Like she's dedicated to that. Like, this is my non-foily and my foily of the same card and stuff like that. And like she has specific defects of like, this is the version of like Grimer, this is the version of Grimer coming out of the Super Great where he's looking up the lady's skirt, and here's the one where they changed it. Like stuff like that where she has both. Pretty funny to me.
Damn.
It's a lot.
So does she continue? Like she still does this? Like keeps buying Pokemon
I don't know how
cards?
active she is, but she has it at least. I feel like I've driven through this before. What? Oh, these stupid force fields.
Oh god, order's complete.
Do. But Gyarados is a better Pokemon than Zapdos.
You mean like in design?
Yeah.
It's more interesting, yeah.
Gyarados is like S tier Gen 1. Like it's one of the coolest Pokemon maybe ever.
I mean, it's one of the strongest too. It's not a bad Pokemon. I always see it at the end of it's most people's go-to for what's it called? For being the Elite Four.
I'm back here again. Alright. More people love me. I've got that going for me. So many people are watching. I guess this is what happens when you stream during the day.
Yeah. I was gonna say that usually happens.
Instead of 7 o'clock at night Western, which means it's even later for everybody else because we're the last time zone.
Yeah.
The last time zone. The
how
last
far have you
unicorn.
gotten in, how far have you gotten in Outer Worlds?
Just the first world.
So you finished the first world?
Yeah. I'm on my ship, about to go to the next place.
Oh.
So I got the shroud, and I talked to my 2 party members and so on.
Nice. What did you end up choosing?
The only correct choice.
The only correct choice. Down with capitalism. How dare.
Fuck 'em.
It's mean.
You want to know what the deciding factor was for me?
What?
I found a case of medicine, and I was like, you guys have this giant plague problem where you can't treat your people. You keep saying that the reason you can't treat everyone is because you just don't have enough medicine. Well, looky fucking do. I got all this medicine. So I take it into like the sheriff lady, and I'm like, yo, medicine for days, fix your shit. And she's like, wow, thank you for turning in this contraband. We're going to burn it. And I'm like, all right, I'm unplugging this whole place. Fuck you guys. You don't deserve anything anymore. You can't save yourself. Like, what? How will we ever fix this plague? Would it be with this medicine? Nah, I quit. It's like, fuck you guys. Fuck all of you guys.
Did you see what I chose?
Also, that place has not been around that long, and that graveyard is larger than their entire population, and it's full.
Right.
So like, whoever's live right now doesn't have a lot of time left anyway. That place just churns through its population at an astonishing rate. Like, I'm basically not even killing anybody. Like, the system will kill them, like, now.
Yeah.
They're, like, in a hurry to kill their people.
I mean, that was the whole premise of,
Yeah.
like, that's what happened to the power plant. It was so efficient that they decided, why the fuck are we paying humans to do this? And then they wiped them all out.
They can all go fuck themselves.
That shit just drives me nuts.
I'm gonna watch it burn.
My option was a lot more violent.
Oh yeah, I didn't have any violence at all.
Yeah, mine was.
Even
Yeah,
when I went for my electric thing, they were like, "Yo, bad. We're mad at you," and I'm like, "You don't want to fight me." You're like, "We don't want to fight you." Credits will do fine.
I did that with a guy where a guy was like, "Who the fuck you think you're talking to?" I was like, "Oh shit, you're right." And so I just left the conversation. I put on this like Abraham Lincoln hat, and I was like, "Hello, sir. Could you leave?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course. Sorry to bother you."
As Keith did the pizza deliveries yet. Yeah, you just missed me doing all of them, basically.
But no, so I went through, and my decision was
I just
obvious.
finished all of them.
My decision was I'm going to keep the power on for the saltine plant. And then I'm just going to have the old woman take over as leadership from the saltine territory. And then it'll be fine. Everything will be fine. I did everybody's side quests, found Zoe, found the guy, all 3 of his books. Everybody
yeah,
was...
chat, this game has weapons. You're just a bad person if you use them. It's rather unambiguous. Like, sure, you can use the weapons if you're a terrible person. Be my guest.
But
enjoy carrying their corpses to the incinerator before they explode and nuke the entire environment and then give you a game over. This is a game where dying does not give you a game.
Wait a second. Hold the fucking phone. You have to do what now?
Yeah, if you kill anybody, you have to take their body to the incinerator, and there's only 1 per map. You have to pick up their bodies and manually haul them to the incinerator, or the entire area will be voided out in like a nuclear explosion, essentially. And that's the only way you get a game over in this game. Dying does not give you a game over in this game, but other people dying and you not incinerating their body, that gives you a game over.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Why are their bodies nuclear bombs? Wait, what? That's like...
Yep.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna let it shine,
So someone just...
This guy doesn't have any fucking deliveries for the novelist's son. Why are some of these people so hard to max out? What do you want from me, game?
Is it... What happens if someone just dies in their sleep?
Better
Like,
figure
what's the
your shit out.
frame? Like, how much time do you get before...
It's one of the reasons why you gotta have connections with everybody and keep an eye on everybody. And it's because if people die and you don't deal with the body, then the bad happens.
I mean, that's not... Okay, that's not just the bad. That's literally the worst. That's a thing that right now, this entire planet is gripped over.
No, the second mission of the entire game is you carrying your own mother's body to an incinerator. Because she's dead and she has to be incinerated. And you find out over time in the backstory that in Sam's backstory there was an entire town that was taken out because his own wife voided out.
What? He didn't take her to the incinerator?
It sounds like he wasn't there. Like she was unattended at the time.
Jesus.
And so the whole town got taken out. I think it might have been New York. I don't remember.
Oh, like that's serious shit.
Yeah. Well, there's not a lot of people left. A lot of places are gone.
With the amount of, what's the nice way to put it? With the amount of...
I mean, if you look at the world map, it's covered in craters of like all across the United States. There's just giant holes in the country.
Well, yeah. Do you know how many people would be going off instantly?
Nope, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have to shoot people with guns.
Oh, like, oh god. Wait, what's
all
the
right,
timer?
let's do this. Don't worry, I'll use the fucking anti. I'm gonna use the guns that don't kill people.
What? You have guns that like knock them out?
I hate mules. Yeah, those rubber bullet guns that magically don't kill people. Fuck, this guy's out on the fucking network. I hate the novelist's son so much. He's so fucking inconvenient. He's not attached to the network, so you can't fabricate stuff at him, but he keeps sending me on missions to have to raid mule camps. And then half the time I don't even get a reputation increase afterwards, and I'm like, oh, I just went through all that, and I didn't even make progress. How the fuck do you finish his quest chain? It's the novelist's son and the veteran porter are like, they break the rules of the rest of the game. Everybody else, you just do deliveries for them, and then they get hit 5-star eventually, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm done. But these two people, fucking right out the window with the rules. Like, it's just nonsense. And they have the hardest objectives, and it's all bizarre, and the game gives you zero guidance on what the fuck you're supposed to do. And I've just put so much time into this game, and I'm like, what do you want from me? I did like a 70 episode playthrough that was like almost hour-long episodes, and I've put dozens of hours into the post game, and I still don't know what I'm doing. Like, the game's just so fucking unclear. Oh, whatever.
Where are you playing this on?
I'm
PC?
gonna shoot people. Is this game on PC yet?
Is it on Wait, is it not on PC?
I don't think it is. I think it might have had a eventually release date or something, but I don't think it came yet.
Oh. I don't think.
Yeah, like Metal Gear Solid 5. Like I think his current model might be stuff comes to PC eventually, I guess, but not at launch, which is
Oh, you can pre-purchase it on Steam.
yeah.
Coming summer
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah, I thought I remember there being a Steam page, but it's like not out.
I'll probably just get it then. I don't want to go through the effort of buying a PS4 game.
Not to print my non-lethal assault rifles. Don't worry, I'm not gonna kill anybody.
Plus, I don't wanna
They're
play
all
with a
gonna be
fucking
fine.
PS4 controller.
You don't want to play with a PS4 controller?
No, I want to play with an Xbox controller.
Oh, right.
Like,
Like I don't know if I want to play this with a keyboard and mouse necessarily. That's what I was thinking.
no. That would be way too long.
All right, I printed my 5 guns and my 5 blood bags. Let's shoot all the people.
Pew pew.
Yeah, shooting's inconvenient though. I like to run them over. This game's got the bullshit logic of Batman Arkham Knight, where running people over knocks them out. It also makes them move in slow motion. Honestly, if they're trying to disincentivize violence, I feel like they're kind of missing the point by making it look so cool. I get the whole like, oh, don't let anybody die because they'll have a void out. It's almost like we need to try to draw connections as people and stop fighting. I'm like, cool, I support this. But why does it do a cool slow-mo sequence when I run somebody over? It's like, that kind of encourages me to run more people over. It's pretty rad. Have you tried running people over?
Wait, how long do you have until they go nuclear?
It's like 10 minutes, I think, or something. I don't remember. Might be an hour.
Fucking what?
I don't know.
Holy shit! How close are incinerators?
It's not I think most players, from what I see from threads, don't know that there even isn't an incinerator in this map. Because you have to use the incinerator in twice in the first map, but the big giant map that most of the game takes place in, most people don't even know where the incinerator is, but it's right up here. It's at the north of the map. There's just looks like the one from the first region, but you never go into it at any point for the story, so people don't notice it's there. But my road actually goes right by it, so it's actually I could drive bodies to the incinerator pretty easily, given that I made a highway that goes to it. Like I'm pretty much set for taking people to the incinerator.
For murder.
Yeah, I could fucking make a corpse treadmill. I could do this. I don't really want to, but it would definitely make it more convenient to deal with all these goddamn mules. They keep getting back up. I keep knocking them all out, and they keep not going away. I'm gonna make it shine. Oh shit.
Dog
Oh, dude.
fucking dying out there?
That one. No! Alright, well that went fundamentally badly. Shit.
Can't wait to see it happen in like 2 hours.
No! Go the direction I'm pressing, asshole. Shit. Alright, well I'm half dead already. That's good. Fuck.
Wow.
This is basically the worst that this has ever gone. No,
You're trying to run people over?
How do I equip my fucking...
Oh no, you failed.
There we go.
Oh god.
Is he down? He's down. Okay, he's down. Okay.
Oh, that poor baby.
Oh god, there's more of them here. I'm getting shot so much. There's too many people.
They probably do not use rubber bullets.
No, they're shooting me for real. It's kind of a problem.
Remember, you don't go nuclear.
Yep. Oh, there I go. I love how the cover doesn't work, by the way. That's great.
I mean,
All right.
does it have to?
No, you only go nuclear if you get eaten by a BT. And even then it's much smaller.
Wait, what? So not every body becomes a nuke?
You're a repatriate, so you come back to life, and apparently the process of doing that consumes most of the energy. Is the throwaway explanation they have. So you can create a small crater on the map that stays there forever if you get eaten by a BT. I've never done it.
Oh god.
That crash really fucked up the entire process.
Oh.
I normally drive around and just run a bunch of people over for a while, and then shoot people at the end. But I just got caught in the open, and this game, there's no like Gears of War cover system or anything, so you pretty much just get shot a lot. There's so many enemies that you just can't fight back effectively if you're stuck in the open with them.
What the fuck?
I take it you just saw the reincarnation animation there for the first time, Andrew.
What the fuck?
Why do I still?
Yeah, it's weird.
You guys didn't even take my gun. I'm just gonna come back now.
Why is it
You
like
fools!
that?
I'm just gonna come back and shoot you. You forgot to take my gun.
Wait, they stole your packages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they left me with one of my guns, so they're kind of fucked. I'm gonna fuck them up. I'm gonna fuck them up. I'm gonna
Did
fuck
they
them
steal
up.
your
I'm
car?
gonna fuck them up. I'm gonna fuck them up. I'm gonna fuck them up. Well, I didn't steal. I think my car's just where I crashed it. They hit it with a like an electric grenade EMP thing that disables it, and your character jumps out.
Ah.
You can eventually jump back in, but you know, everyone's shooting at you with guns. It's kind of an awkward situation to be in. I really wish that these guys would drop guns when I shoot them, considering they shoot me with guns, so that means they have guns. So if they could drop their guns so I could have more guns, that'd be useful.
Thought he was.
Fall on your ass. There you go. You could just give me your car, please? Thank you. Thank you. My car now. Alright. Running people over with cars is non-lethal. Don't forget. It takes so long to reverse in this game. Hi. Kung. No, again? They got really good at that at some point. They used to really suck at doing that. Don't worry, guys, my gun isn't lethal. That means this is ethical. They really missed their chance to have a game where you don't shoot people with guns to make some kind of statement, because they were cowards and gave you guns that don't shoot people.
Guns don't shoot people.
That's a tradition with Kojima, though.
Oh.
We're judging you for murdering people, but also here's the magic trank dart gun that one-shots every enemy in the game and just non-lethally takes down everybody, so you don't have to think about it.
I mean, when you consider the fact that dead bodies turn into nukes, there's probably a good reason they don't give you a lethal weapon.
No, they give you a lethal weapon. I'm just not using it.
Oh.
I'm saying that they
Never mind
went
then.
so far to have the whole metaphor and everything set up around this whole don't kill people because life's sacred and they'll turn into bombs and so on thing. But then they fucking completely throw that message out the window by just giving you non-lethal guns that you can use, where you get to just shoot people anyway. But they're just knocked out. It's like cool. So I'm still shooting people. And it's almost fundamentally identical mechanically. But you know they're not dead. So like you're a good person because you didn't murder people.
Yeah.
You just violently came in as a nightmare marauder and shot them all. But that's like different.
That's
There's reasons.
basically how I'm playing Outer Worlds.
Give me all my blood bags, please.
When I showed up, it was like, look, we're doing this.
No.
And the guy was like, no, we're not going to do that. Fuck you. And I was like, all right. First of all, I have way too many guns. Second of all,
this game should have only
fuck
had,
you.
This game should have only had one gun in the entire campaign. It should have been the one from the end of the campaign.
The one the president gives you?
Yeah. The one in the narrative should be the only gun in the whole playthrough.
Wait, are you serious? The president gives you the gun?
Who gave you that gun? That gun wasn't in a lot of hands. It's complicated.
But does the president give it to you? Take
You
that
can't remember, don't confirm or deny it, or
it's-
else the comments will yell at you.
That's a really that chain of custody is a long list. It's confusing. I don't really remember who was holding it last before I touched it. I remember Die Hardman having it.
Ah, what are you? Oh,
I think everybody touched that gun. I think just everybody, period, touched that gun.
well, there you go. Isn't president our mother?
Mother?
Your president.
Well, the president
mine.
was your mother until, you know, she
Until the
wasn't.
Fire Nation attacked. Ooh.
Pretty sure she dies of cancer.
Where
in, like,
is-
the first 10 minutes or something? So
Or was something else here?
Really?
yeah,
It's kind of brutal.
Yeah, basically the first mission is you delivering her body to the incinerator.
before it explodes.
I think it's technically your first delivery.
It is
Oh no.
your first official delivery, anyway.
Oh.
Well, the first on-screen delivery.
Yeah.
I'll take that blood bag, thank you.
Yeah, the totally secret but not so secret delivery.
Also,
What?
John. Oh. Also, John. So, Die Hardman's first name is John, which you know all game, but over time you can find out that his middle name is McClane.
Wow.
So his name's John McClane Die Hardman.
That's amazing.
So it's like such an insane name for a character to have.
I love it. What a genius. Only our Lord Kojima.
I find them all. Yes, I found all the documents. Okay, now I can move on with my life. Do-do-do. All right. Good talk, everybody. I'll see you next week when I knock you all out again.
Oh.
When this fucking novelist son sends me here again. I probably won't even get reputation gain from this. It'll probably be like, nah. You just wasted a lot of time, fuck you. Because the delivery system makes no sense for now for some reason. But just for these two characters. Where all the rules just went out the window.
That's where they belong.
Oh, this truck's about to run out of batteries. Good thing there's a golden battery here.
Where's my pizza?
You have a pizza coming in?
Of course I got a pizza coming in. It's a Friday night.
I envy you.
You always start your weekend with a pizza. And
Is
you
that-
end it
is-
with
is
a
that
whole
the- is that
bottle
the
of
law?
Pepto-Bismol.
Whoa. Nah, that's a different thing. Never mind. Whoop!
Is
The novelist sun item. Yeah, I was thinking of the Kung Pao thing, but that's Neosporin.
why would you put the full name?
Nah,
Why
nah,
would you
nah,
just put
nah,
the first
nah.
name?
Neo.
So weird.
Nah.
If you're gonna have like an automated email
Sporin.
message from a bot, you should probably make it sound. You should probably write it yourself so it sounds human. Don't write it. Don't let a programmer write a. How
do you like my face to your foot technique? I'm bleeding, making me the victor.
Hope it has ham and pineapples. What?
Oh man, can you
joking?
order that
What?
to my house?
Pineapple does not go on pizza.
Yes, it does.
No.
No, it doesn't.
No.
We've already had our consensus before while you were gone, which makes it the law now. So too late. You should have been here earlier.
You have two people telling you it doesn't. Right
Pineapple
now.
and pineapple's beautiful. Yeah, but I have the audience, so I win. I have clout.
Yeah, you have clout.
I win the clout game.
Oh, jeez.
What is?
Fucking pineapple's just beautiful.
No, for me, it's.
I was telling
it's
Andrew about how
pepperoni, ham,
I
and
had
bacon, man. That's it.
I had salmon teriyaki with pineapple, and it was one of the best things I've ever eaten. Oh my god.
See, Pineapple goes well with
teriyaki
meat,
and
just not on
pineapple and meat
pizza.
is so good. Pizza's just basically just the same shit.
Pineapple's
setup. It's
never
great.
good.
No, you're a fool.
No.
You're a fool and you're wrong.
No.
Everything you say is wrong.
I may be a fool, but I am right.
Just
Pepperoni
because
or
I don't like pineapple doesn't mean other people
pineapple
don't.
is
It's like,
bleh.
yeah, it's one of those things. I disagree with you, but you know, you're
No.
fine to commit heresy if you want.
No, he is wrong. 100%. Pineapple is not a viable food option. It tastes like it looks like
It went
dung.
up.
Not
No
to mention the
thanks.
fact that the enzyme in pineapple literally starts eating away at your mouth. So
That's
there's
just
that.
citrus.
Well, no, it's the specific enzyme in pineapple. It's
That's
not
fine.
citrus.
And chocolate's a poison. And I'm gonna fucking keep going.
You shut your mouth.
Hey,
you can't make appeals of this is bad for your body because Andrew can't be eating pizza in the first place. Andrew eating any pizza is bad for his body.
it's fine.
It's fine.
And yet,
Fine.
Look,
it's
the side
apparently a
effects
weekly
of-
tradition.
The side effects grandly outweigh
The consequences just make him
emotional
want it more.
Sounds about right.
So I no one calls me, so I always forget. I have
He's
this,
finally on the
but-
map. Oh, yeah, so Andrew, look at the map, and you can see all those craters covering it, and those are all the void
Oh, a
outs.
second.
They're kind of hard to see on the screen though, but all those little circles on the U.S. map
where
are all the
people
craters, and some of them are like the sizes of states.
All right, hold on. I gotta wait for it to come up.
So I'm good to go, huh?
Right now, you're still crying about packages.
Doubt a guy like you
Packages.
from a guy like me, but I figure I ought to offer. This is for you, if you want.
Okay. See.
Oh, he gave me a little. He gave me another dingle. My
I don't see
dingle dang that
many
goes
craters.
dingling.
Oh, there's some craters.
Yeah, those craters are from people dying and not being incinerated.
Until then,
He gave me a little dingle dang that goes jingling.
Wow.
Now go to the other terrorists and shoot them again, even though you already did. Isn't this fun? I'm having fun.
Wow.
All right, let's do it again. I've literally cleared both these camps twice already for this guy, and he's just telling me to do it again. I'm like, wow, great content. That's what this game is. Just gonna refill myself on more blood. Gotta keep bringing blood. You carry sacks of your own blood around as ammo. It's really funny and distressing.
Well, blood's used for a lot of things, it seems. Like the blood-infused rope to use as an identifier that's attached to your suit, for example. Which is the weirdest thing I think I've ever heard, is to be using as an ID.
Well, you have a rope that you use to tie people up, and for some reason it features your blood. And it's like, it clearly only makes sense on like some kind of symbolic level, because there's like no reason why he'd be tying up human beings with a rope made of your own blood. Like, why is that even useful? Why is that at all helpful? Oopsie.
I mean, have you never needed to tie someone up with their own blood?
Not with my blood.
I mean, you're
Do I
missing
look like
out.
Alucard to you?
I mean, no,
Alucard. And I mean the one from the anime. Not that,
but-
the other
I mean
anime.
the one from the anime. Wow, you set the bar even higher.
The other anime.
I was
The
trying
one-
to base off the
The
pixel.
one where people have blood powers. I need to make more guns, actually, I think. Yep. Just in case. I've got
man.
blood, but I'm not a blood guy.
That's a fair point.
What's a fair point?
No, my boss sent me an email because he was like, "Hey, this person's mailbox isn't working. You need to get it figured out." And I was like, "Okay, I'll send him another message." He's like, "Nah, it's not good enough. Send it to this fucking manager. Keep going higher until someone fucking responds." Like, all right, man, that's a fair point.
All my other guns just vanished.
I'll just start shooting up.
Wait, did you say somebody's mailbox was broken and then you were going to send them mail about it? Isn't that a problem?
No, they have another. So we gave them a mailbox that they use to access our certain company systems, but they have their own. They're a contractor, so they have their own actual email.
So they're trying to essentially integrate the two, it sounds like?
So what happens is so the problem that we're experiencing is that his other email, his personal email, has failed, not ours. So I'm sending an email on our email server to say, hey, what's wrong with your work email? So now instead I'm going to email his boss, which is a person that does work for the company.
There's so many bosses.
This fucking guy's email doesn't work. Get it figured out, or your boy ain't going to be on no distribution lists, and he ain't going to find out when next time we're going to have Taco Tuesdays in the office. So better shape the fuck up. And then he's going to go, I don't know, whatever he does. I don't even know what he says. I don't even know what he sounds like. Never met the guy. So can't even make a guess.
Who knows? Anyway, I will be right back, and then we'll get to that, Andrew.
Sounds good.
Get to that.
We're gonna play some Monster Hunter.
Oh, dang.
Because you're busy delivering pizzas to scrubs.
Busy being.
Yeah, gonna finally get our HR up past 25 or 26 or whatever it is right now.
What?
We finished the last mission to...
Oh, I was like, wasn't it fucking like 15 yesterday? How the fuck is it 20?
15. And then he was bumped up to 25.
So was I right? Was I right when I said that next mission's probably the final mission? Was it?
After the 3 Elder Dragons, then yes, the last one is Xenojiva, which I assume know what I'm talking about when I say that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I mean, he's played Iceborne. You can only get to Iceborne after you've played the original.
Yeah. But I wasn't sure if you would remember exactly the name of it and reference that to the thing that we fought. Yeah, anyway, I'll be right back.
I could probably join you guys.
Yeah, if you want to join, come on in. We'll
Just
get you through the last part because we've already seen the cutscenes. Yeah, boy.
Yeah. I can lazily play Monster Hunter.
And then you can play as
I just can't
Geralt.
let's play the political narrative game where I have to pay attention to what's happening. I'm too tired today.
It's fair.
Cargo's in perfect condition. Looks like this
And
But I can
then
swing a
what
hammer
else?
at people. This guy looks so much like the guy from Game of Thrones. The best character. You know who I'm talking about. The guy that's just there for the
Peter
money.
Dinklage?
Peter Dinklage is a friend.
Wait, what?
Yeah. The mercenary.
token of our appreciation.
Mercenary.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the one that knocks the guy in the hole at the Airy, and they're like, you fight with no honor. And he's like, he fought with honor. The guy that he kicked in the hole. I love that guy.
I think I kind of remember him.
Yeah. Braun.
Oh, yeah. The drunk guy. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, the guy who's like, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, okay. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He's mercenary man.
Look, it's been a while since I watched
Got.
since I watched
Gotta watch that got. Did that not just max him out, by the way? Oh no, I think it did max him out. Yeah, right, it just gave me the patch. I got so many stars on my leg. I got 3 rows of stars. I'm 6 stars into the 3rd row. There's like
nice
4 people left. And 2 of them are those assholes I can't do. I think I have the novelist's son. I have the first prepper, which I haven't even started on. I just met him. I didn't even meet him yet, technically. I just visited his place. I have the veteran porter, which I spent the first 2 hours of the session trying to do. And then I have, like, the collector. I think the cosplayer needs 1 more. Yeah, cosplayer's slightly not there yet. But then there's Lake Knot City. I've delivered Lake Knot City, like, dozens of packages, and every time a tiny sliver of progress happens, which at least is not no progress like these other 2 assholes that just deny me progress, but it's like It's like it feels like I'm approaching an asymptote. Like it's just fucking exponentially getting closer, but never touching the fucking goal. It's like how the fuck? How does the progress keep getting smaller each time? Stop it.